Hey, this is Rasmain with Role-Playing Public Radio for RPPR Actual Play, and we're playing Call of Cthulhu 7th Edition today with a scenario called Cotton Eye Joe. But I am not running this scenario. We have a guest GM, Rina from the Old Ways podcast. Hello, Rina.
Hi, fun to be here. I am Rina Henze. I will be your keeper of arcane lore for this particular scenario, which I co-wrote with James Bennell, also of the Old Ways podcast, set in the 1950s, and we are going to be investigating a folk song that may have unexpected origins, and it is indeed called Cotton Eye Joe. And I'd like to introduce my wonderful cast for this episode.
That's me. I'm Caleb. I do Cthulhu-y stuff over at Delta Green Dead Channels and other stuff at Habiton Games Open Design, and I'm going to play Baxter Scroggins, a 1950s record executive company man. So obviously morally upright, ethically consistent. Yeah, very excited to play this staunch defender of virtue. So
Definitely
I guess
the
I'm on the list under Caleb. So hi, I am Thad. I don't do anything. I show up on podcasts. You know, I hobo. I ride the rails between podcasts. That's what I do. And I am playing Carl Hunter, electrical technician. And, I make sure I don't know what to tell you. I make sure the lines are hooked up and that no one's frying themselves when it's non-intentional.
And sometimes even when it is intentional.
Well, I don't know about that. I hear tell, but I wouldn't want to admit nothing.
Hi, I'm Baz. I'm playing Gene Eric Whiteman, a security and driver.
Mm-hmm.
And I do stuff, but whatever.
I think plug.
Yeah, yeah. Twitch.tv/Future Wolfington.
Watch me be a pirate or play Dead by Daylight, whatever.
Mm-hmm. And hey, it's Ross. It's your boy Ross, and I do the Role-Playing Public Radio and Leto Narrative Dissidence and Night Clerk Radio, and every problem can be solved but with another podcast, it turns out. And I am playing Shelley Mead, anthropologist. She doesn't like talking about her cousin. Shut up about her. Yeah.
Okay. Wonderful. So we begin our story this evening on a hot, humid, moist July afternoon in Louisiana. 4 of you have been dispatched by the Royal Jaune Record Company to obtain the original lyrics of a popular folk song called Cotton Eye Joe. In this period in the 1950s, a lot of popular folk music has entered public domain, as the people who wrote them, if we know who they wrote them, have passed away, and thus their legacy can be snatched up and turned into recordings by various record companies who may or may not be ruthless about it. And in this case, your company received a letter from a woman named Barbara Welch Sloan saying that her great-great-grandfather, Rory Welch, was the originator of the popular folk song. Cotton Eye Joe has many, many varieties. No one knows exactly where it comes from. No one knows who wrote it. No one knows where did it go. But according to Barbara, her ancestor wrote it, and she has the lyrics and everything to prove it. So your job is to go and obtain the original lyrics and to do a public recording of the song to bring it back to the company. This recording will, 1, establish the fact that the song has been recorded, and 2, give the company rights to it once Barbara has signed them over for a substantial sum of money. She was very insistent on that fact in her letter. So, you have been driving for several days at this point from Tennessee, all in the same car. I'm sure it has been a wonderful experience for all of you. There is no tension whatsoever. It's just been a great, great time. So, why don't we get a little description of our characters and how they're feeling at this point, 3 days into the journey, starting with who's driving this vehicle?
I assume that would be me.
Yep, Gene.
The driver.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I am. If I respond to anyone, it's with nothing but short grunts of eyes on the road.
That's why I hired you.
Yeah, trying to get our destination as fast as possible.
What does Gene look like? Just a brief idea.
I am told that Gene has a athletic build with light brown hair, hazel eyes, Clean and well kempt with white t-shirt, dungarees. That's his very plain style. Nondescript for the most part.
Who'd be sitting next to Gene up front?
Oh,
Well, I don't know. Is the one footing the bill for this trip gonna ride shotgun, or do they prefer to ride in the back?
I'm pretty sure I would
perhaps the
keep a
lady.
shotgun. No,
All right.
no. I didn't do that. Sorry. I'm footing the bill for this thing. Baxter Scroggins has one loafer hanging out the side mirror as the windows open, and he is filling out paperwork on a clipboard, and he is in a seersucker suit that is too moist for that material due to the heat. And I'm fanning myself with said paperwork as we speed down a dusty highway, I assume.
I'm sure you've been great this whole time as well, Baxter.
Mm-hmm. I didn't
Everybody
complain
loves
at
you.
all or berate my employees. None of that. Not a record executive.
Definitely not. So in the back seat, we would have Shelley.
Yes. Shelley has brown hair, kind of unkempt, especially now because of all, the driving. Smoky blue-gray eye. She has a thin frame and wearing short button-ups and slacks. Shelley's been constantly pestering Baxter to change the radio station every so often so she can take notes on local music styles and just observing the South up close and personal. And she is trying to stay focused by trying to remain an objective academic observer of the peoples and the culture.
Mm-hmm. And last but not least, we have our working man.
I mean, I can be least, I suppose. I don't really know about any individual worth in regard to any other. But Carl is black hair, brown eyes, heavy set, sort of scars on the face and neck. Just wearing sort of beat up jeans, a work shirt that is now down to just one button, trying to keep cool, and just sort of got the window rolled down, poking his head out every now and then, trying to, watching the academic curiously, trying to see, what on earth you can pull from whatever happens to be on the radio. I don't know. I always... For being someone who works in Nashville, I was always more of a live music kind of person myself. I feel like the recordings blasted out end on end. It sort of drains the life out of it, after a while.
So, in this very not at all tense car ride, you finally make it to the town of Bon Marais. Calling it a town is a little generous. There's your hotel, there's a church, city hall, grocer, a couple other smaller things, and maybe 9 or 10 houses as you sort of zip through the town before you realize that you're actually there. Following Barbara's description, you take a small dirt path off to the side. Your car bumps a bit as you switch off from the actual road into this path, going to what Barbara refers to as an estate on the outskirts of town. The estate, if it can be called that in its current dilapidated condition, is a sprawling parcel of land based on whatever maps you've been able to accumulate. As you drive, you see that the land is overgrown with weeds, these creeping plants and these dark, scrawny trees that trail their branches in the most inconvenient of places, including in front of your car, causing the occasional bump as you have to drive over them. Despite the sweltering heat and the humidity of this climate, as you drive and drive, you get the feeling that this particular estate has not been touched by sunlight for decades, perhaps longer. You see a few small critters making appearances, little eyes poking out at you, some snakes slowly slithering down these tree branches, but they're slow and lethargic until your car gets closer, and then they skitter away in a horrible panic. You see one lone cypress tree as you pull up closer to the house. It looks as if it's choked the life out of any other trees that have attempted to grow in this place. Its gnarled roots reach out greedily towards the swamp water. You see a stranglehold around some stumps of trees that either have not completely grown or in some places have been cut down, and the roots dig deep and deeper into these stumps. Something feels not quite right here. You don't know if it's this is the first time that you've been here, and thus you don't know what the atmosphere should feel like, but it's dark and heavy and murky. Finally, you pull up to the house. The house itself mimics the state of the land around it, in that it was clearly grand at some point, but has since fallen into complete ruin. It looks as if someone has done their best to take care of small parts of it. You can see some neatly boarded up windows that have been very well taken care of. The front porch is clean and painted recently, but the second floor looks like it's falling in and potentially very dangerous should you choose to go up there. Seated on the front porch in a rocking chair is a little old woman. Very old. She looks to be in at least her 80s. Her skin is paper thin. You can see as you park your car in front of the house. She's wearing clothing that was in style maybe 50 years ago, that has been darned and well kept, but is definitely old. And she's rocking back and forth, looking around at you. The only pop of color that you see here is a small houseplant at her foot. The leaves are reaching eagerly towards whatever light there is, but you see her occasionally lean down and say something as if she's whispering to it. And you have arrived at the Welch estate. What would you like to do?
Can I have a conference with my team before we go out there to associate with sales? All right, I'm going to turn around to Mead. Now, Mead, we talked about this. What's the history say about this song?
Well, there's no known author, and thus it would be kind of... But no, sorry.
Mead, we talked about this. If you want to get paid, the history says about this song, it's cheaper than what she's asking for. That's what the history says, right?
Yes,
all
it's
right.
cheaper.
There
Gotcha.
we go. Good. All right, cool. All right, let's wrap this up. Get the hell out of this sty. Get back to Nashville. I'm getting out of the car and putting on my best salesman style. Yeah. You guys can talk about whatever you want.
I'll propose to Baxter, just as I feel like that's my job.
I will follow Baxter, taking notes, being very cheerful in case he's, offends Barbara. I assume that's Barbara.
And since there's nothing to record and nothing to wire on wire, I'm just going to be sort of bringing up the rear guard, moseying around, thinking about how much I prefer the mountains to the swamp.
Valid. So
Look, I'm just saying, it's like the mountains, that's the bones of the earth. This out here is the meat and the hair. And let me ask you, which would you rather be standing in?
that's a very excellent point. So you all get out of the car, and the little old lady turns her head and looks at y'all. And she gives a little wave and says, y'all come on up here now.
I do so, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She points to a small table next to her rocking chair, and it's got this giant jug of what you assume to be sweet tea and several glasses laid out very neatly in excellent hospitality. Says, y'all get yourself some tea now and have a seat.
I will pour everyone a cup of sweet tea.
I will abstain.
I will take a nice big sip and it's delicious.
It is extremely sweet. It is. You can feel the sugar coursing through your body.
The correct way to make tea.
Exactly. The best way to make sweet tea. Well, it's a pleasure to meet y'all folks. I suppose I'm Henrietta Welch. Suppose you're looking for my granddaughter, Barbara.
Yes, indeed, ma'am. Yeah.
Well, she's at her house that way somewheres, but I'm expecting that since she saw your car driving in, she'll be coming out. Folks hear about the song then?
Yes, I am Baxter Scroggins of Royal Jaune Records, professional shellac and 78 slinger. It is lovely to meet you, ma'am. And your hospitality on this hot day is not gone unnoticed. It is much appreciated by these weary travelers.
You're smooth. She
Oh,
waggles
thank
a
you,
finger at you.
In this heat, I feel quite rumpled, but I appreciate your kind words.
Carl is laughing in the background.
What do you folks know about the song then? She crosses her arms and starts rocking back and forth again now that you're all up on her porch.
Well, we
I'm
here at Royal
Fed, but we
Jaune
can play
take
real
the
well.
providence of our songs with the utmost seriousness, which is why I've hired an anthropologist who is an expert in this area to come along and ensure that we give all due credit to the author of such a standard of American classics.
Yes, hello.
And I
My name.
push Shelley forward. Yeah.
Yes. Hi, I'm Shelley Mead. I'm an anthropologist. I'm here to examine any kind of history you have of the song. I don't know. I mean, I read up what I could, but there's not a lot of historical record on this song that I could find. Or did I find anything?
You didn't find a whole lot. What you found is mostly no one seems to be sure where the original came from or what the original actually is. There's several different versions that have been written down. Some of them come from plantations in the pre-Civil War era, it sounds like. Some of them have been written more recently in the 20s and the 30s. Some of them have no provenance whatsoever.
Yeah,
There's a couple.
Yeah, I'll explain that to what I found to her. Yeah.
Yes, well, we've always said around here that Grandpappy Rory wrote the original song. It's always been a known secret around here. She taps her nose.
Rory Welch then.
Rory, Grandpappy Rory.
And how about? Do you have any idea about when he would have written this?
Oh, about 100 years ago at this point. 1850 something, definitely for the war.
Oh, wow, that is quite old. Yes. Did he keep a diary, or were there any newspaper articles about him, or like did he perform at the county fair or anything?
Give me a psychology roll.
Okay. Let me find out what my psychology is.
First roll of the game.
Oh boy, I have a psychology of 10. This is great.
All right.
Anyone who's there can give me a psychology roll if you would like to.
Weirdly enough, I don't make that.
I'm shocked.
Gene ain't much of a psychologist, but he'll definitely roll it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Just
I got
to
a
see.
25. All right.
I rolled an 8, so I pass.
Whoa. Good job, Gene.
I rolled a 99, so I think I know what's going on.
Did you
Yeah.
fumble?
Yep, I definitely fumbled, yeah.
Okay.
So did I. 44.
Okay. Well, a fumble in Call of Cthulhu is bad, so bad things happen. So first off, Baxter, you're very, very, very certain that this old lady is holding out on you. She's hiding things. She's reluctant. She doesn't want you here, and maybe she's making things up. You're starting to get suspicious of Henrietta on that failed psychology roll, or that fumble.
Hey, old bird. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But Gene, you can read people fairly well with what you do and your time in the war and, well, your profession. And she seems conflicted. She seems a bit upset. Maybe she looks like she wants to say something, but then she pulls herself back as if she's not sure she should say it. When Shelley specifically asks if she knows anything about the history of Rory and the song.
It was Henrietta, right? That was the name?
Yes,
Okay.
Henrietta.
Look, ma'am, we, the sooner you tell us what we need, the sooner we can get out of your hair and let you get back to, your life and whatnot. I would like to get home. My boss would like to expedite this as well. You're holding back. Come on, get it out. What do you have to say?
I apologize, Miss. My driver. He's an uncultured man. He's from the city. It's hard background. The heat's gotten to his head.
Well, I suppose you folks did come all this way. So she leans in, and she looks at you. Carl says, "Sit down now, young man. Too hot out here to be standing around."
Well,
All
didn't want to presuppose.
You're not intruding, son. All right, well, here's what I know. First off, y'all folks know what the term cotton eye means?
Out of character? Well, I do not.
Lots of meanings. Some of them sickness, some of them old age, but round here in our part of Louisiana and parts of the South, it means man with lust in his eyes for things what ain't his. So she leans back and clasps her hands over her chest and goes back to rocking. You can see the little plant leaves are now tickling her ankle, and she looks at it, and you could almost swear the leaves pull back just slightly. Almost. But she looks at all of you in turn and says, there was a man named Joseph Taggart. Folks round these parts called him Old Cotton-Eyed Joe, 'cause we suspected he was taking things. Always had an eye for the ladies, too. Never wanted to go too close to his old shack, nobody did. He would sing drunken songs and call out, never attacked no one, but made folks uncomfortable. What I know, based on old Grandpappy's stories, is one night he was real drunk. Joe was, and he's walking down the road, stumbling around, comes across my grandmama, Sarah Welch. She's just walking ahead of him. For some reason, runs up behind her, slits her throat, just leaves her there to die in the road. But she weren't dead. Must have been his first time trying to murder someone, 'cause he didn't do it right. Severed her vocal cords, but not the rest. She crawls down the road, makes it home. Grandpappy's there. She knew her letters, so she scribbled out Joe was what done it. So Rory calls up a posse from town, and they go after him. Find him in his shack, drunk as a skunk. That's what Grandpappy would say. They drag him out into the swamp, and they hung him. Out there somewheres, and she gestures towards the dank and heavy swamp beyond. And, well, what I heard was, as they was dragging him to the tree, Grandpappy started fiddling. Town fiddler. And old Joe tosses him a coin out of his pocket. Says, don't stop. Paid the fiddler at a hanging. Gotta keep playing. So Rory did. He was angry. He was playing that fiddle. Some say that's when he wrote the song. They hung old Joe from that tree. They come back. That's where it comes from. And I don't reckon as any song written in such bitter hatred can bring any good to anyone. That's what I got to say.
Well, Baxter, how's that for marketing?
Well, we're not here for any crash commercialism here, Whiteman. We have to make sure that this song is respected as the historical artifact it is, of course. As obviously, lesser producers of musical wares are putting out sock cop versions and lascivious tunes that are played in dance halls and corrupting the youth. Of course, the only way to protect this is a strict copyright on the original, of course, that we will, Royal Jaune, of course, enforce to the absolute letter of the law in order to preserve the legacy of this historical event.
Shelley is furiously taking notes and just like, just imagining the book she could write with us.
That is, of course, all a lie, so I don't know if I need to roll for that. Yeah.
She gives you this stare.
Carl's just fidgeting with a bullet in his pocket that, is just thinking about things.
Just a lucky bullet.
Yeah.
Carl, give me a spot hidden. You're not really engaged in the conversation at the moment.
All right. Let's see. Spot hidden 60. God damn. 70. Fail.
Okay. So you get the feeling someone's watching somewhere, but you look around and you can't see anybody. But it is so dark and the humidity hangs so heavily over everything that maybe it's just a bird or a gator out in the swamp nearby. Probably fine.
Mountains never stare at me like this.
But the bears do. So, as you're having this conversation, you hear a loud huffing and puffing coming from the road that you just came up. And you see a middle-aged woman in very tight leopard print and a very tight black skirt comes above her knees. It is far too tight for her, and she looks like she can barely breathe. She's clutching at a string of oversized pearls, and she's... Hi, folks. You must be looking for me. I'm Barbara Welch.
You got some tea over
Sloan.
here if you need a cool off there, ma'am.
Why, Miss Henrietta, you did not say you had a granddaughter, nor such a fetching one.
Babs gives you a look, just like oh, hello. But she grabs a glass of iced tea and chugs it. Y'all must be the folks from the record label. I'm Barbara. You can call me Babs.
I kiss her hand with a bow and introduce myself. Yeah.
Her eyes light up. She's wearing far too much makeup, especially for this kind of hot and humid day. You can see that some of her foundation and her blush are melting a little bit down her face. But she turns on the charm, says, "Well, I'm the one that did the writing. You didn't need to come bother old Granny Henrietta out here. But I'm sure she enjoyed the company."
Yes, she was. Just telling us some of the history of the song. It's quite fascinating.
Yes. Did you bring the contract with you?
I did indeed. Yeah, I'm very excited to get out the contract.
Past you,
Shelley. We do need some sort of proof, and we will need to make a recording, of course.
Of course. I've had it all set up with the mayor. We're going to do a recording tomorrow night in the town hall. It's got beautiful acoustics, I think was the word that he said. I'm sure it'll be wonderful, and it'll be a big ceremony. My son, he's going to he's beautiful fiddle player, beautiful. Must get it from his great grandpappy. And you can see, you don't even need to make a roll for this. Henrietta is just rolling her eyes almost so far back she can see her brain.
Mm-hmm.
But my son Hunter's a wonderful fiddler, and he'll be able to play the song for us. It'll be magical the first time anyone hears the lyrics or sees the song performed for the first time in its original form.
Oh, do you have the lyrics written down that I could look at?
She suddenly just looks down at the ground and then sideways. Well, see, the thing is, I know they're here somewhere. I don't personally have them.
Mm-hmm.
But they're somewhere.
Okay, well, we have a day to find them then, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Henrietta is rolling her eyes in the background and says, "Call these folks here and you don't even know where the song is, you crazy woman." She cackles. Just like you, Barbara Welch Sloan. Now, Granny, don't excite yourself. She shakes her head with her massive perm.
Carl's sort of chuckling, and he picks up the pitcher and goes over to refill Granny's cup.
Well, ain't you a nice young man? Respecting your elders.
Well, ma'am, I feel like we better ingratiate ourselves if we're going to be here being a bother for longer than you expected.
Thank you for being honest. She's looking around at everyone, says, "Well, I suppose you could look in the attic. Probably something up there. That's where old Grandpappy kept his instruments and things." Barbara's glaring daggers at her grandmother's. "Granny, you never told me. You never asked. You just went digging holes up around the property looking for something. Could have asked, but no."
Holes? Did you? Is there a legend about a buried fiddle or something, Barbara?
Well, I was looking for the box that contains things before y'all showed up, because he had to have kept it in something, right? And I couldn't find it anywhere, and Granny wasn't being helpful, so we went looking. in the old shack. We looked in the barn. Ain't been anything there for a long time. I thought maybe he hid it in a floorboard. Went digging around the place. Not much out here, Granny. There is a definite air of tension between these two women.
Well, if it was in the ground buried 1850, a century of, boy, that would do a number on any kind of containers. Well, anyways, I'm sure it's in the attic. Yeah.
Well, thank God we are here to help. I shudder to think what would happen to you two fine ladies if you were drawn to the snake pit that is Nashville. The record business can be full of throat slitters and men of low character. I'm glad that we are here to help preserve this historical document in its proper form with an expert like Miss Mead, of course.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm sure you would never do anything sleazy was the word you used, Mr. Scroggins. Henrietta says.
I would never, of course not. If my trek across country is not a sign of my earnest desire to see this business handled correctly in an upright manner, I don't know what else I could say.
Yes, well, you can have a look up in the attic. You could look in the shack if you wanted to, but, well,
maybe we should split up.
I snap. Like, go dig through her things. We have permission.
Well, I'm going to the attic, but somebody should definitely check out this shack. I'll be taking photos, by the way. I'm taking photos of everything.
Hunter and Miss Mead can find the document and help you out. Mr. Whiteman and I could accompany you to the shack. I'd love to get a picture of it, or perhaps a sketch for the documents.
And Babs looks at you, Carl, says, "Oh, is your name Hunter too, just like my wonderful son? Oh, that's what a coincidence that is."
Yeah, Carl Hunter, ma'am. I suppose we did not rightly introduce ourselves, but yeah, pleasure.
Pleasure to meet you.
Well, Doc, shall we up to the excavation?
Hey, so who's going where?
Shelley is definitely going to the attic.
I will be going to the shack with,
Yeah, I want Whiteman to drive me. I don't want to walk, if it's all possible.
So, Carl, are you going inside then?
Yeah, I'm going to the attic because that's what Scroggins said, and at the end of the day, I gotta make sure I get that full travel stipend because I do not want to get ripped off because I didn't follow orders or whatever nonsense they're gonna cook up on the other side of this.
Oh, I'm sure Baxter would never. All right. So Baxter and Gene get back in the car. Babs stuffs herself into the back seat, and you can feel her hot breath on the back of your neck, Baxter, as she's leaning in a bit too close. She smells slightly of gin, but she's talking very loudly and giving you directions to where the shack is. It's not that far away, but you get the feeling it's better driving anyway because of all the soft ground. There's the branches that are trailing. And also, if she's been digging out here, you don't want to accidentally step in any holes and break an ankle. So we'll start with the two who are going into the house because that's closer.
Mm-hmm.
So Carl and Shelley, you go into the house and Henrietta sits on the front porch and is muttering something in what sounds like French. But you go in, you see this part of the house inside is neatly kept, at least. There's water damage on some of the walls. There's some broken flooring in places. You're not sure how this very old lady manages to get through here on her own. But there's gas lamps that are lining the walls. There's very well-kept portraits, one of which you can see, the most recent one appears to be of Henrietta as a young girl. You can see that same little smirk on her face. And she and you assume her parents are standing there staring in that kind of old-fashioned sort of way where no one smiles in anything, but Henrietta still is. She looks to be about 7 or 8 in this portrait. As far as you can tell, there's only 3 rooms down here that appear to be used regularly. You can see a kitchen up ahead of you. There's what looks like a wood-burning stove. You've got antique pots and pans. It's very, very clean. There's a small sitting room off to your left with a very well-repaired couch, a bookcase of very dusty books, and what looks like a small bedroom with a lovingly maintained 4-poster bed and a small table next to it and an old wardrobe. Despite how well maintained everything is, you can feel that heavy, intense air of decline.
Mhm.
Maybe it's from the mold growing in some of the unused rooms. Maybe it's the sound of the creaking floorboards. But this is definitely a house that has fallen into disrepair. There is a flight of stairs leading up to what you would assume would be the attic.
Okay.
They do look to be fairly busted up.
Before I go up to the attic, I want to look at the bookshelf real quick and see if they have like any books that look like journals, diaries, or like a family Bible, because families who keep notes in those kind of things, or just any weird books that would be out of place in this kind of household.
Okay, give me a spot hidden roll.
What is my spot hidden? I hope it would be yay! It's actually 50%. So, hey, 46 out of 50.
Wonderful. So you see some very well maintained but still fairly dusty older books, dating back to at least the 1850s in here. But you do find a family Bible. And inside, as was tradition for a lot of families, you find a family tree going all the way back to about 1640. This is a very old Bible.
I don't think my family knew how to write until about half that far back.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a 1640s Bible. It's probably been copied over, but from an older Bible. But it's very neatly kept in penmanship. And you can see that there is a Rory Welch and a Sarah Jean. And then there is a Jean-Baptiste Welch and a Mary Jenkins.
Okay.
And then Henrietta Welch. No mention of a husband. But the line continues on to Barbara Welch, Hank Sloan, and then Hunter Welch Sloan.
Okay. I will take a photo of the family tree. And keep a note of that. But put it back.
Okay. So you put the Bible back. The air is heavy in here because the windows aren't open and it is a very hot June Louisiana day. But from what you can see inside, the windows appear to be mostly broken, which is why they've been boarded out on the outside. Boarded up on the outside, you would assume. But it is getting a bit warm in here.
Okay.
I hope there are windows in the attic, because I do not relish being wandering around up there in the dark with candles or some such.
Do I have a flashlight? What kind of?
Well, I got a lighter.
Okay.
I'd say you have a flashlight. That's something that would be normal to have, especially on a trip, road trip kind of thing.
As a good anthropologist, I'm never without my flashlight.
All right.
Yeah. All right.
So, going upstairs?
Yep. Definitely had it. That's where she said it would be. So, or
lead
could
the way.
be.
Tell me where to dig.
Well, not in the attic.
You
I was
assume.
being metaphorical.
That's an assumption.
Yeah.
All right. So you start going up the stairs, which creak heavily under your weight. They look like they haven't been used in quite a bit. And as you get about halfway up, I need dexterity rolls from both of you.
Love that for me.
Oh, I'm quick.
Hey, 42 under 50.
Yeah, 44.
Okay. So as you step onto you step onto the middle step, Shelley, there's an ominous creaking, and you can see the board of the stairs start to splinter, but you manage to get up to the next step before it completely collapses and falls down. This one particular step. So you saved yourself from perhaps a bit of damage there.
Oof.
I'm no kind of structural engineer, but I think maybe we ought to be stepping lightly.
Yeah. We need to get. Yeah, this is maybe the last time anyone enters this attic. Oof.
So you make your way up to the attic, and as you open the door, you're hit with the smell of mildew and dust, but also an heavy animal scent. You see, it looks like from behind in the past some tree crashed into the roof here. The tree is no longer there, but the part of the roof is caved in. There's pools of water, small pools on the floor. Perhaps it's rained recently, or perhaps it's just the general moisture. There's mildew and mold on the walls and peeling wallpaper ripping down towards the floor. There's also the skittering of what sounds like mice, perhaps, in the walls. Mice? Yeah, definitely just mice. It'll be fine. But there is a chest, an old antique steamer trunk, it looks like, on the far end. It looks like it's been rusted a bit, and there's water stains on the top, and a broken fiddle on the ground. It looks like maybe it's been broken over someone's knee.
Okay. Anything else of note, but just those two things?
There's piles of old books. You can see some boxes that have what look like children's toys or clothes in them. The sort of things you'd store up in an attic, but they're not particularly interest-grabbing.
Okay. Yeah, I'll look at the fiddle and kind of try and date it and see if there's any writing or anything else on it.
Okay. If you're trying to date it, give me an anthropology roll.
Hey, the thing I'm good at. 4. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
4. Wow, that's an extreme. Okay. So you take a look at the fiddle, and you did some prep work before coming up here. I assume looking at musical instruments of the era, looking at how music was written, especially in folklore, and you can pin it to about the 1850s.
This might be it. You might have found Rory's fiddle. It certainly would fit in.
All right.
Well,
and
is that actually something we need, or is that just sort of a neat side benefit?
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
With the extreme, before you go, Carl, sorry. With the extreme, you see on the inside where it's been broken, like inside underneath the strings, someone has scratched out some very angry looking words. Like they took them with a knife after the fiddle was broken and just hacked them inside this fiddle. And you see the words Joe. You see damn song, my head, stop.
Interesting. I will point that out to Carl.
Yeah.
See, this is it. I mean, the Joe DM fiddle.
We got an interesting historical curiosity, but don't we need some kind of paperwork before we?
Oh, sure. I mean, this will strengthen our case, but yeah, we need the actual lyrics on paper, ideally.
Well, I'm glad that this helps you find some interest in this, other than the purely commercial. I'm just saying.
Well, there was a Joe apparently, so yeah.
So that seems authentic, then, not like a prop of some kind.
No, you couldn't fake this kind of. They wouldn't know how to fake this kind of aging. Or the style fiddle. We'll open up the steamer.
Okay. So you open up the steamer trunk, and inside you find stacks of books. Some of them are molding, some of them are falling apart because the water, it appears, has dripped through some of the cracks in this old steamer trunk. The top row of papers is covered in mold, and some of them, as you pick them up, just sort of rot away almost in your hands, like they dissolve the way paper does when it's been wet for too long. And you get a little bit of ink bleed on your fingers from some of these papers. But inside you do find some notebooks, and you find some older books as well, like the old sort of Penny Dreadful style. Someone had an interesting taste in literature around the turn of the century. And no box, but you do have these papers.
Okay. I'll take the papers. I assume there's too many for me to just read quickly. Okay, yeah. I will go through them later, but yeah, be very, very careful with them. As a trained anthropologist, of course I would know how to handle moldy old papers. And yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, if there's no box of kind we're supposedly looking for, I suppose I'm going to start poking around, see if there's any, other little hidden holes of anything or anywhere someone might stash something valuable?
Okay, so Carl, you notice, and you noticed when you were downstairs too, this house was never wired for electricity or anything of that sort. So it appears Henrietta has been quite happy being here this whole time without modern conveniences, let's say. But you can give me a spot hidden roll as you are poking.
Well, I imagine the fewer modern conveniences, the more the inconvenience probably keeps her daughter out of her hair. Nope, that is a fail.
Okay.
Regular fail, but...
So you're poking around, you're looking for little holes where people might have stashed things. You do find some places where the wood of the wall has rotted away, and you stick your hand in and you feel something skittering over it and pull it back. There's definitely bugs or something in these walls, but you don't really find anything else up here. So we'll leave you two there for the moment with your papers and this busted up fiddle, and have a look in on Baxter, Gene, and Babs at the shack. So following Babs's directions and with your car bumping along literally in some places as you hit potholes, you come up to this dilapidated looking shack, and Barbara is yelling in your ear, Baxter, for some reason, that Grandma says that this is where great-great-grandpappy used to write his songs and where he'd go when he wanted to be alone, and all of these things, just telling you history that you weren't particularly interested in, maybe, but she seems very keen to talk to you.
Oh yeah, I'm keen to let her, and I'm listening intently. You know, very, very excited to hear about all of this lovely, definitely real history that she's giving me. Yeah.
So you pull up outside the shack. The door is barely hanging on by its hinges. It's partially overgrown with moss and dead leaves. It doesn't look like they've really grown here. They grew at some point and then stayed. And you can see some broken slats in some places, but Babs just shakes her head and says, "It's a shame the way Grandmama's let the property go to ruin. And I mean, just with what you're gonna pay for this song, you know, we're gonna make this place beautiful, and she'll have a wonderful place to live. You know, she's 94. Can you believe it's still staying out here? We've been trying to get her out of that house for quite some time, get her into a nice home in town." And she's just going on and on and on about her plans for getting Grandma off her property.
Well, I expect the advance of a song such as this would be enough to take care of this whole property, not to mention the royalty, neither of which are in the contract and explicitly forbidden by the one I've written. But I can say whatever I want. Yeah. Let it dream big. Go for it, Babs. Yeah. I get out. Do I have a camera? Do I have like a beacon or something? I can take a picture of this place.
Give me a luck roll.
Okay. I got a 30. I do not.
Okay. So you didn't bring your camera because you had to fill up the space in your suitcase with your suits and other signs of status. So the camera, yeah, Shelley's got the camera back at the house.
All right.
So do you go in?
I let Whiteman take the lead with a lovely polite gesture that he can go first. Yeah.
Thanks. So yeah, it's just like a dilapidated shack.
Yeah.
Is there a lock on it? I'm sorry, I don't...
No, the door is hanging partially off its hinges.
I will, as gingerly as possible, try to open the door without removing it from the hinges.
Okay. The door creaks open, and you get hit with this musty, dusty smell from inside. It's not quite as heavy as if this place hasn't been open for decades, because Babs did say that she came in here once looking for the box, but it is still fairly heavy, and there's that heavy moisture in the air that everything seems to be touched by in this part of the world.
All right. I will just kind of casually move my flashlight around the shack, looking for, like, Baxter, what am I looking for?
Well, what is my man looking for, Miss Welch? Where would this? What does this box look like?
Great grandmama used to say that her pappy, that was Joe, I'm not sorry, her pappy, that was Rory, had a box he'd keep his special things in, and that she never could find it when great great grandma Sarah passed away, but that it had to be somewhere. I assume that's what he kept everything in, since it would have been important to him.
Are we talking a box? Are we talking a footlocker?
Oh,
What
it
are
would
we-
have been small. Can't be dragging one of them big trunks around with you now, can you? Can't hide them well, neither.
All right. I guess I'll make a spot hidden to locate small box.
Okay. Are you going in?
Oh yeah, I'm going in.
Okay, so you go in, you see that there's an old dilapidated desk at the far end under this grimy, dirty, partially cracked window. It's a very small shack. There's not a whole lot in here, but there's a table, there's some papers scattered across it, a chair that's been knocked over, and a few other knickknacks laying around. So as you go in, before you make that spot hidden, give me a dexterity roll.
Wonderful. I'm pretty dexterous. 60 flat. So yeah, I pass it.
Okay. So there is a patch of mold that is a bit damp on the floor, and you just about set your foot on it and go slipping, but you manage to catch yourself just in time before you fall and potentially crack your head on these old moldy floorboards. So you can move on in and give me that spot hidden.
Wonderful. 41 out of 50.
Okay. You see some places in the floor that look like they could have been, I mean, they could just be broken from age and weather, but some of them look like they could have been pried up, maybe for places to put things.
All right. I'll feel around them for is there some sort of like handhold somewhere I can get like my hand can get in there to potentially lift it.
Okay.
Or wait, actually, is there like a pry bar somewhere around here or something? I don't feel like getting my hand down in a floorboards of a swamp shack.
Give
God
me a
knows
luck
what's waiting
roll.
for me. All right. Come on. No.
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 Okay. So if there was a pry bar here, it's been removed. And Babs says, "Oh, we took anything we could find that wasn't molded or rotted or whatever. Just you know how difficult the economy is in these years after the war." And she's
Yeah, I just kind
babbling
of
on.
ignore and reach down and lift it. I'm like, fuck it.
Okay. All right, give me
Oh.
another luck roll.
Oh, great.
I know.
I am not lucky today. I am again not lucky. My
Okay.
luck is 25. Not lucky.
All right. Something bites your hand.
Who could have seen that coming?
Definitely not. You pull your hand back, and there is a small snake attached to it, just sinking its fangs into the side of your hand. And you're going to
Ooh.
take 2 points of damage as it sinks, and it hurts like hell.
Yeah, I kill that snake and then
Easily
proceed to flash my light down into the hole and see if there are more snakes waiting for me.
You don't see any more snakes down in this hole, but
Not this one, but the next one.
yeah, this bit appears to be empty. Baxter, are you coming in and following Gene as he's looking for things, or are you
Did I see him get bit by a snake? Because then no. But if I did not see that, then sure. I will peek my head in and ask how Whiteman is doing. Yeah.
I'll actually throw the dead snake at Baxter and be like, yep, that's a bonus there.
Oh my. I shall keep the lady company.
Wasn't aware I would be getting hazard pay on this job, but be sure to put that in the invoice, Baxter.
So
yes, certainly, Whiteman. You're doing a bang-up job. Yeah, I'll handle it out here.
there's a lot of things you could handle, Baxter.
I'm just like,
You just hear in your ear, and a hand on your shoulder. So
I hear me go. I don't get paid enough for this.
You definitely do not. So, Gene, you're looking in under some of these other floorboards.
Yeah, I'm just looking around.
Mm-hmm. With that successful spot hidden from earlier, as you go looking under one of these other floorboards, you see a place under one of them where the dirt looks different. It's lacking in color almost. Like it's this paler reflection of the rest of the dirt around it, as if the life has been sucked out of it.
Oh. Well, I mean, if it looks different, I'm going to start digging in it.
You dig, and it takes you a good 10 minutes to dig through this patch of dirt. It feels dry and crumbly, not like the heavy, moist dirt around it. So it's actually easier to push aside. However, it does take you that 10 minutes, which means whatever is here was buried very deep. It must have taken time. And you finally hit metal. There's this clink. And you find a small box, not very big at all, that is this rusted looking broken paint metal box. Paint has chipped off it in places. You can see it used to be red, but is now just sort of this dead color. Again, it looks like whatever it is has been sucked out of it. The essence of this box has been removed from it. And there is a very ornate looking lock on this box.
Boss, I think I found your box.
Excellent work, Gene Eric.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Oh, I knew bringing you folks out here was going to be so good. Oh, Baxter, you're so wonderful.
Yep, I'll retrieve it and hand it off to Baxter.
Oh, you carry it for now. We should open that back at the house with the assistance of the good doctor.
No,
to ensure the contents inside are not damaged.
We're not opening that box till tomorrow. At the performance, it's going to be a whole big thing. I'm going to open it and show everyone what's inside, this big historical moment. I mean, for our town, Rory's one of the most famous folks to ever come out of here, and, well, he wasn't all that famous. So it's going to be a big event.
Well, of course, we will have an unveiling ceremony, Miss Welch, but what if it has been damaged by the years? What if it is full of the snakes that have accosted my man? I would never risk your reputation by having you embarrass yourself in front of all those people. We must assuredly check before we bring it to the crowd.
Give me a hard persuade roll.
Okay. Is hard the half one or the fifth one? Okay.
I could be mean and ask for an extreme, but I won't.
Okay.
I love the idea of a bunch of Call of Cthulhu investigators arguing over who gets to open the box.
Where's my persuade?
racing to that.
Let's open it now.
No,
let's open it with
anybody.
Witnesses. Yeah,
I don't have anything in persuade. That's a shame. Yeah, I don't make that. I have charm. I made my charm roll, but I don't have persuade. Yeah. All right.
She just gives you a look and says, "Well, we'll think about it." But are you holding the box, Gene? Have you come out of the shack?
I'm holding the box.
Mm-hmm. She leans in and pokes it, says, "Doesn't sound like any snakes in there to me."
I didn't think there were any snakes underneath the floorboards either.
That's fair.
So you get back to the house, unless you have somewhere else you want to be going.
Oh, no, I would like to see what's in this box. So that means we gotta snow these old biddies to get alone with it. All right.
All right.
I will be placing box in trunk. I am not going to be keeping it around myself.
Okay. So you put the box in the trunk and you drive back to the house. At this point, Shelley and Carl, are you still looking around the house, or do you go back out to see Henrietta?
Shelley will keep poking around the house until she hears the car come back. But yeah, like just on the off chance there's something else good. But yeah.
Yeah, actually, if
once I hear the car, yeah.
Yeah, if Shelley doesn't show any particular need for my help, then yeah, I'm gonna go and hang out with the old lady. She gave me tea. She is my best friend now.
Okay. So, Carl, you go outside and sit on the porch with Henrietta, who insists that you take yet another cup of tea. Because
I do
you have
so
to.
gladly. Yeah.
And she asks you questions about where you're from, how long you've been working, just kind of grandmotherly keeping up the conversation. But you can give me a spot hidden roll.
I'm not terrible at that unless I roll like I have been. Hey, 57. That is under 60, so I succeed.
Okay. So you see her eyes kind of dart towards the door occasionally, and then occasionally out towards where the others drove off to, and she looks a little bit anxious.
I imagine you're probably not used to so many visitors all in one go. I know my grandmammy, she spent a lot of time alone after my granddad passed away. So if you're you don't have to stand on ceremony, ma'am. If you want to retire to sort of gather yourself or rest or something, you don't have to hang out on your porch on my account.
Oh, it's cooler out here. Even with the sun starting to sink over the horizon, it is still very hot and very humid. Cooler
Or if
out
you
here.
prefer, I can. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I'll stay out here for a bit. Then I'll go to bed, I suppose, at some point. But I want to see what you folks find.
Well, I know the doc upstairs is very interested in that old fiddle that was up there in your attic.
That will be Grandpappy's, we think. It's been up there as long as I've been alive. 94
May I
years.
ask,
Can
was
you
it-
believe it?
May I ask, was it broken the last time you saw it? Because when we found it up there, it was smashed all to hell.
Oh, yes. It was busted up. I was playing up there as a little girl one time. I remember my mama, she came up, she got real scared, told me not to touch that thing. Had nightmares for a couple nights after being up there.
Oh, I imagine there's a lot of emotion in them kind of things. That story you told us about your old grandma. I come pretty close to dying a few times in the war, so I know that's surviving things. It leaves marks inside and out. So I imagine there's a lot in that old instrument and that old song. Sounds like your family carries a lot of history.
Well, most of us do down here, son. Most of us do. I've seen a lot come and go. I've seen the world go to war twice now. Can you imagine?
I mean, I remember the first war when I was, little, but not much in specific.
What folks will do to other folks, real shame. And at this point, Gene and Baxter come driving up bumpily down this lack of road, and you can see Barbara like through the windshield. It looks very excited.
Shelley comes out with the papers and the violin and like, look at all this stuff I have to investigate. It's great. Just big old smile and yeah.
I sort of raise a tea glass to you. Well, glad to see you're having a time, Doc.
Oh yes, it's we must preserve and document this cultural treasure before it disappears. It's important we know where we come from and what happened before. Least we are doomed to repeat it.
Fair enough.
Looks like everyone else is in a good mood, judging from their expressions in the car.
Great mood. Wonderful. It's been a great day.
Hands swelling up.
Yeah.
Oh, do I have first aid?
Yeah, I
have first aid.
Do you
I
need,
have first
you
aid.
need like a wrapping on that hand there, or
It's fine.
all right?
Oh,
Okay, if you say it's fine. Ooh, what's this? A box? You say? Let me. Well, let's open it up. Oh no, wait. We should get to the hotel first. Is there a hotel?
Yes,
We need. Yeah.
you have reservations at the one hotel in town. Not that
Well, we should
reservations are really needed.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
sure Miss Mead needs some time to make sure all of our documents are properly preserved before we transfer them to the hotel. And I, of
you-
course, would love the chance to walk fine Barbara here back to her home and have her show me more of this lovely property.
Oh yes, I could do it in the living over there in the dining room.
Yes, take all the time you need.
Of course,
Found
yes.
it.
Yeah.
You found it. Oh. You can all give me psychology rolls.
Oh boy. Hey, 10% isn't 0%. All right,
Nope.
like
Still fumble.
That is how numbers.
You missed 100% of the psych rolls you don't take, and I rolled a 1.
Is a 90 a fumble or is it just
no,
a regular
90,
failure?
96 plus.
Okay, yeah.
I rolled an 1, and I'm getting very suspicious that I'm on house money right now when it starts coming to
Jeez.
important rolls like sanity and don't die rolls.
Yeah, I whiff. Just nothing.
I got a 48 out of 60.
Okay. So Baxter, she seems uncomfortable around the box. You pick that up, like she's shifting in her seat a little bit. Gene, with that 0-1, did you say?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a critical. She's very concerned about something. You can tell. She's shifting in her seat. She's side-eyeing the box as it's getting passed around, and she's muttering things to herself in French.
All right. Boss, can I have a word with you?
Can I hear? I do. My character does speak French. Does she hear this? Could she understand what she's saying?
Give me a French roll.
Also, depends if it's French or if it's like Creole French. There.
I don't think it's a
Alright.
roll in French. It's a croissant.
I actually make that 24 out of 35. Yeah.
Okay.
Well played.
So it is Creole French, and so you can't quite make out everything that she's saying, but you know enough to pick a few things up, especially
Okay.
because you probably would have looked into a little bit before you came out here.
Mhm.
And she's saying something about no good, ain't right, no, can't, I can't do it.
I will just go. Oh, you can't do what? Do you need help getting up? Do you need some help?
I need to retire for the night.
Oh, okay. Yes. Of course.
Where is the
There.
box right now?
Yeah, who's holding
guess
the
I'm the-
box? Or did you set it down?
If no one, I will still be holding it then if no one's claiming it. But
I mean, Shelley would definitely want to claim it. Like,
yeah, well, I am currently holding it.
yeah.
Boss,
Well, Miss Mead, of course, we are respecting the Welch's wishes and revealing it at the concert tomorrow. We wouldn't want to be untoward. Her academic curiosity gets the better of her. You'll have to forgive her.
Okay.
Well,
Well,
why don't you give me that there box, son?
boss, I need to have a word with you. Private, let's go to the car real fast. Yeah,
Oh,
we'll be
yes,
right back.
definitely, Gene. We'll have to take a look at that hand of yours. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go off to the side.
yes. Do you want me to hold it, Gene?
I don't. Yeah, I'm going to get away from out of earshot of the assembled party. And boss, this whatever's in this thing, she doesn't like it. So if we open it, it'd be best we did it at the hotel or something away from them.
I concur. I am not about to have my knickers around my ankles in front of an entire crowd of people with the recording on when we open a box full of moths and dirt. So we gotta get that open before we leave here today.
Yeah, I'll save the knickers around your ankles for when you're alone with what's her face. What's her name? I don't remember her name, but
Weidman, you steer on the roads. I will navigate the other waters. Leave it
morality.
to me.
I've been working with you for quite a while. Your ability to steer the waters of morality are quite problematic. But again, I don't get paid to worry about such things. But yes, I am. We're going to hold on to the box till we get to the hotel.
So yeah, that is my goal, is to at least see what's in the box before we leave it with them. That is my my attempt. Yeah. But I don't know how it would be best to do that. How married is Henrietta to the idea of getting that box?
Well, if you go back to her, she's still standing there with her hand out. That belonged to my grandpappy. I got my rights.
Indeed you do, ma'am. Fuck. I don't say fuck.
It would be
I
a shame
think
for It would be a shame for something as old as this to, be handled in anything but the utmost care by someone of the professional, such as Ms. Mead. So you can understand why we're a bit apprehensive and just handing it over. Obviously, this is your property, but for its preservation, I think it would be best if it were left under the care of a professional.
Well,
I was afraid of picking this thing up in the first place without falling apart in my hands. So,
Henrietta, why don't we open it here on the porch so I can just see how delicate it is, and if I need to, as a professional, I know how to preserve damaged historical documents and protect them, and know how to ensure that mold and humidity and all of that do not harm them. Why don't we simply let me open it so we can assess it? You can watch as I open it up and assess its constitution, for lack of a better term, its durability.
Why don't you folks come back tomorrow? You can see she suddenly looks tired.
I will take a photo of the box, and say, well, it is sealed right now. It hasn't been open a long time. You can tell it is. So it'll, if anyone opens it, it'll be very obvious to tell with that amount of grime on it. It would be, if it was open and closed again, there would be marks.
I'm sorry, out of character. Is Fast Talk still a lie check in this edition of COC?
Yes,
okay.
It's still bullshitting.
Can I make one last bullshit attempt?
Of course.
Before
Always.
we leave?
I encourage it.
I'm so sorry for my untoward compatriots. Of course, it's your property. Of course, it's your box. You have the key. What would we do to open it without the key? You have the key, correct?
Maybe. House somewheres.
Oh, well, you would need the key, of course, to prove providence. We would have to prove that it is, in fact, Rory Welch's box, and that it is on the property that is certainly helping within property law. But without the key, we cannot prove ownership. And if we cannot prove ownership, why, this whole deal could fall through.
I'll go looking for the key tomorrow.
All right.
And we'll
if there were initials on the
we'll-
box, we could do that. But the rust, we would need, Miss Mead's expertise
open it
archaeologically.
We'll open it together. Like your lovely friend here saying. Can tell if it's been opened. We'll open it together. But I'm an old lady and I need my rest. After 94 years, about all I do is sleep and drink tea.
Well, all right. You have a lovely night. Oh my! Look at the time. We have a strict check-in at the hotel. We must be leaving.
The 3 days it took to get here felt like 90 some odd years, so let's get to the hotel as quick as possible, please.
Young man,
Carl,
she looks at you, Carl. Would you mind helping me in? Creaky old bones.
Certainly, ma'am. You've been neighborly enough. I don't mind playing the role of a helper there.
Hey, you help her into the house. She's moving very slowly now, and you can tell even without a roll, Carl, she suddenly seems 94. She's not as spry and making little comments like she was out on the porch. She's moving very slowly. You can hear the wood creaking, and her breath is a little bit heavier as you help her to her room.
You need anything else this evening, ma'am? I feel like you sort of lost the spring in your step there. You doing all right?
Wait a history, son. Wait a history.
Yeah.
That's all. She pats you
Can't
on
do
the
nothing
shoulder.
about that. Well, all right. Well, I hope that the morning finds you in better spirits.
She gives you a hug, like the big grandmotherly sort of hug, and there's a bit of strength in it, but you can tell she's fading a bit. And she smiles at you, and she totters into her room and closes the door. So, what do you all do now? The old lady has gone to bed, taking the box with her.
I'm in the car waiting for people to join.
I will start.
Time.
I still have the broken fiddle in the paper, so from the
Yeah, we can take that apparently.
yeah.
Unless they said otherwise.
I figured something omission. It's fine. It's definitely not a sin.
Okay.
I
I
angrily
will,
get in the car.
Drink the
as
rest
well.
of the glass of tea that I left on the porch, and then head out to the car.
Okay. Yeah, Baxter, you've never had to deal with grandmothers like this before. And it's a bit infuriating just how strong her will is, but you have been summarily dismissed like a naughty child. And you can all make your way into town towards the hotel. Babs points out her house to you, Baxter, which is on the edge of the property that's the closest to town. It's newer looking. It does look like it's at least been freshly painted. But you see standing on the front step is this young man, looks to be about 15. He's dressed all in black. He's got a guitar strung over his shoulder, and he's just standing there with his arms crossed. And you can see him from here. He's scowling, but it appears to be aimed at Barbara. And she just leans over to you, Baxter, and taps you on the shoulder and says, my husband won't be home tomorrow afternoon if you want to stop by and get a tour. And she winks. And she heads off to her house. So you can make your way
Adieu,
into the
madame.
town. You can make
When
your
she's
way
out there saying,
into town.
goddamn swamp hags dragged me out of the fucking city for this, and I just start beating on the goddamn trunk, like, hunting for treasure in this godforsaken bog. And just
Baxter,
Oh, hell,
Baxter,
it's
don't
the way
worry.
of things out here, boss. You'd have better luck trying to pry up one of them stumps.
We'll get back to the hotel. We'll drink about it, all right?
I'd hate to meet the goddamn cat they skinned for that fucking shirt. Just drinking a flask out of the fucking dash. Just,
Okay. So you make your way to the hotel, which is very easy to find. It is the only hotel in this tiny podunk town. And you check in. The nice matronly woman behind the desk does the standard, no drinking in the rooms, no girls, no boys. She looks at you, Shelley, says this is a reputable establishment, and tells you breakfast will be served at 7 a.m. sharp, and sends you off to your rooms. Is there anything particular you do for the evening as you prepare for bed, or yes, Shelley?
Oh yeah, I am reading the hell out of those papers and studying that fiddle in detail. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, read them out loud. Maybe sleep with your head resting on the fiddle. It'll be fine. Have a great time there, Doc.
Yeah, I can contact you to record my thoughts on it. Yeah.
Yeah, did we? I'm assuming we brought recording equipment of some kind, but
Yeah, we'd have to.
Yeah, it's
please
in,
don't
it's
let
in the
that be a
trunk.
literal.
No, I wouldn't send a technician along with you and no equipment for said technician. That would just be cruel and unusual.
but funny.
So, Ross, I'm going to send you something in a moment in a private message.
Okay.
So, what are the rest of you doing? Do you do
I
anything
mean, I
special? Do you
believe
just
that,
go to bed?
Well, I believe Gene Eric said something about drinking over our problems, and I certainly ain't gonna say no to that.
Yeah, I mean, that was the plan, was to drink until we fall asleep.
Okay.
Well, I had too much. I had a lot of sweet tea today, so I need something to take the edge off.
There you go.
Gonna get the
All
sugar
right.
shakes real bad unless I tie off right.
Okay, so at least two of y'all are drinking. Is that correct?
Are we drinking in the rooms, or are you trying to find a bar?
I mean, I brought alcohol. The bar is where I'm at.
we brought it with us. Yeah, is there a watering hole in town?
There is a small bar in the hotel itself that you can go and get your drinks from. So there doesn't appear to be a full-on bar. People probably just come into the hotel for a drink or two, or they drink at home, which is far more likely.
Mm-hmm. So if there's nobody down there to charm and get more information about the Welches, I will also angrily drink in my room until I fall asleep.
Okay, so Ross, you have something you can look at.
Ooh.
I reckon I'll probably pour a bit of the whiskey over the snake bite on my hand just to clean it up a bit.
I mean,
Probably
you sure
a
you
good
don't want me
idea.
to have a look at that? I did pick up a few things overseas.
I'm good.
All right.
Ross is making a great face that makes me very comforted.
Yeah.
Aren't you glad he's not reading this out loud to the
Yeah,
whole
I'm sure
group
that
right
direct message is great job, mission accomplished.
Yeah, it's just minute details of like family history, genealogies. You know, that's interesting anthropology.
One and done, in and out, mission accomplished. Let's go home.
now?
Oh, okay. That's not great. Okay.
It's fine.
We
Uh-huh.
call him
Everything's
poker face
fine.
Peyton around here.
As long
It's
as you
okay.
keep it to yourself, everything is fine, Ross.
Yeah, that's old
Everything is
poker
awesome.
face Peyton, keeping
Yeah.
everything close to the chest.
So
Okay. Oh. Okay. Okay. Uh-huh.
Shut the fuck up. Just say, okay. That's all I need from you, Ross. I don't need to hear anymore. Stop.
don't need to hear all the.
They're very
so-
good. Yeah.
Do you all
Just
go to
imagine a
bed?
whole backstory. Yeah.
I don't know. Ross's style is dragging the rest of the team kicking and screaming into the horror, so I'm used to it at this point.
Mhm. That's how I like it. So
Yeah, I'll just have a few drinks and then go to bed if there's nothing more interesting going on.
Okay. So everyone goes to bed. It's still hot and humid. You have to keep the windows open, and even then, it just feels like that's more humidity drifting into the room as you go to bed. But you all manage to fall asleep, except Carl, as you're going and getting prepared for bed, you feel something in your pocket.
I will investigate my pocket.
There's a small ornate key in your pocket and a little
I'll
slip
be
of
damned.
paper. And the slip of paper says, "This key belongs to you now, Carl. I'm sorry. It's too heavy for me to keep carrying any longer."
Sneaky old biddy.
So,
Well, I'm not waking anyone up on a keys account, but I'll let them know in the morning.
okay, so you go to bed, and you all have somewhat restless nights. It's hot. The air is heavy. You sleep, but there's the distant sound of dogs baying and heavy swamp water pouring through something in your dreams. It's not very pleasant. But for you, Carl, you see the box on a table, sleep. And there's Henrietta standing there wearing a long, old-fashioned white nightdress. And she looks at you with terror in her eyes. And she says, "Beware that box of wicked noise." And then you see this tall, angular figure rising up out of the box. His head is lolling at a strange angle. There are bugs pouring out of his eyes, out of his mouth. The swamp water rises up around him. It's like it's carrying him up out of the box. And you hear this deep reverberating chuckle as he reaches out and he grabs onto Henrietta's shoulder and he drags her into the box, leaving a pool of stagnant water behind. And the box slams shut. And you all wake up to the next morning. Give me a
Apparently I
hard
shouldn't
power roll,
mix
Carl.
tea with whatever I had at the bar. Ooh.
Hard power roll.
Hard power roll, Carl.
Oh, right. Good. That is 57. What's my power?
Be half your
nope.
power. Yeah.
Yeah, don't make that by anything.
Okay. when you wake up, Carl, you don't quite remember what you dreamt. You know it was something horrible, and you remember darkness, and you remember maybe water, and you have this heavy sense of dread, but you don't know where it comes from, as you cannot remember the rest of the details of your dream.
I do not like the swamp.
So, out of character, do we need to get a venue ready to record
So
today?
what Babs told you was that she'd rented the town hall, that the mayor was very excited about it, and that it had good acoustics, was her word. So Carl will need to go and set up equipment at some point for this performance, but you already have a venue laid out for you.
Okay.
So...
yeah. In the morning, first thing I'm gonna be like, "Hey, Baxter, great news! I found a journal with corroborating information about the song. I think the original lyrics are in that box. That's what the diary says. Also, I think I can make a case about something about mass hysteria, sympathetic illness, belief, and superstition causing physical ailments among the people." It's quite fascinating stuff. They after they listened to the song, they got sick. So I think the power of suggestion. There's a whole book in here for sure.
Dr. Mead, you're gonna have to dumb it down a bit for me. Is the journal signed?
Yes. It was Sarah Welch, Rory's wife,
And it corroborates the author of the song.
Yes. Rory wrote it. Actually, it's a little. Joe wrote it, but Rory wrote it down. It's
the lyrics are in the journal.
No, but the journal says the lyrics are in the box.
Okay, well, we'll keep that for now until we get something. But I'm quite concerned about property law. We need to establish the provenance of the lyrics and the song.
Rory wrote it down, so there's it's his song as far as the law is concerned, as far as I could tell. We don't have to submit the journal, but the journal says the lyrics are in the box. That's all we need.
Well, good. We got to get in there.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully that old swamp hag's ready to open up today.
Oh, there's also a shack with some historical artifacts, I think, out there. Like, there's supposed to be a coin out there in Joe's shack. That's still out there? Probably not. It's been a century. But, yeah.
A coin?
Oh, yeah, the coin that Joe gave to Rory to play the fiddle.
The song payment on the way to the lynching and all that.
Yeah, apparently it's supposed to be out in that shack, which would be more corroborative evidence, but, we don't. Obviously, you need to get that.
In our tetanus treasure box, we're not allowed to look inside the coin.
Yeah, they thought they were cursed by the song, so it's quite interesting.
Actually, that reminds me, Scroggins there. Would it be perhaps worth any kind of extra bonus were I able to ensure that we could get in that box with no further extra trouble?
As long as it proves that the song is written and I can get this contract signed and we can get the hell out of here, yeah.
Can I get that in writing?
Certainly. Hunter, we are on the same side. You are my confidant. You're the main electrician. You're riding the wires. I can't do this without you.
We are on the same
there's
side.
Actually two versions of the songs, and Rory wrote the one that is publicly known. That is written in the journal. But there's another version of the lyrics in the box. That's the cursed version, of course. Fascinating, though.
Wait,
we have 2 songs.
Is any lyric in the journal for either of them?
No, not the actual lyrics. It said Rory wrote the one that people know, so we can copyright that one. We just have to get in the box. And there's a second song. We get 2 songs for the price of 1.
Look, I'm not looking for some depressing ass murder ballad. I need something the kids can dance to. All right, Mead? The popular version is what we need, so I can stop everybody else publishing that shit, and we can get paid off of it. All right.
Okay. I'm just
I've
telling you, there's
tried
another song.
A day in their life. I swear to God. Get in the car. I'm.
So as you're having this conversation, getting ready to leave the hotel, Mrs. Hawkins, the proprietor, leans over and says, phone call for someone from your group. Anybody will do, is what she said. But she preferred Mr. Scroggins.
Why, yes, and keep. I'll be right there. Yeah, I rush inside. Yeah. Okay.
So you rush in to take the phone, and it's Barbara, or Babs, and she just
Barbara, my dear.
She's dead, Mr. Scroggins.
Yes. What can I do for you?
She died in the middle of the night, Mr. Scroggins. She's dead.
My God, who? Henrietta?
Henrietta. I went up
you
to
poor
the house.
thing.
I went up to the house to see her, and maybe see if she let me see the box and everything, and get her to loosen up a little bit so we could open it to, at the performance today. And she was just lying there, and she was all dead.
Oh my Lord. Well, you stay right there. We will be there as quick as we can to help.
Oh, well, it's all right. The mortician's already come out and everything, and she starts sniffling. We're gonna have a funeral this afternoon if you want to come. She said she wanted to be in the ground in 24 hours, and it's so hot. Mortician said we can't really keep bodies out in this humidity. She's just babbling at this point, but she wanted you to come to the funeral.
Certainly, of course. For a dear friend of Royal Jaune, we would do nothing less. We will be out as soon as we can.
But we're still doing the performance tonight, right?
We are. Yes, of course. We are.
In honor.
Is what Henrietta would have wanted, of course.
Oh, of course. It's definitely what she would have wanted.
We will be there toot sweet to help with the preparations for laying your dear mother to rest. It would be ungentlemanly to do anything else.
All right. She sniffles and hangs up the phone. But before she does, you hear, I knew I could rely on you. Click.
I have always depended on the kindness of record executives.
Of course. Okay, so what do you do?
I wait until I'm away from the hotel manager. The old hag died. We got to get out there. They're going to be busy getting ready for the funeral. We can get that box open, get what we need, and get the hell out of here.
Oh, okay.
I'm slapping the hood. Come on, let's go. There's a windfall.
The cars started.
All right. Are we?
Anybody know how to pick a lock? We got a screwdriver in back.
I can not only facilitate you opening that box, but I can give you a chain of ownership that would be in the woman's own handwriting.
That would be excellent, Mr. Hunter.
Yeah, and it would be excellent if you would sign and date a little slip for me saying that I would get half again bonus for providing said chain of ownership, provided that inside the box is what you hope to be there.
Mr. Hunter, I despair at your lack of trust in your fellow man. But I can write something up here on the dash right quick if it sets your fierce suspicions at ease.
It is not at all a lack of trust in my fellow man, Mr. Scroggins. It is a trust in the binding honor of an American contract.
All right, I will write him a bonus slip with my signature.
All right.
While we are headed out there.
I produce the note giving the key and the responsibility to it over to me, and I add a little note of my own passing the ownership of that key over to Mr. Baxter Scroggins.
I will tuck that away in my sweaty vest.
I will make a note of it. As an academic observer.
Keeping my receipts.
Shelley makes a note.
Yeah.
Yeah, so now you've got
Shelley will
got
remember
a receipt
this
now,
later.
essentially. All right, so what do you do?
Yeah, we head out there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If she's putting grandma on the ground, that sounds plenty distracting, and we can get to that box. Yeah.
Okay. So you head out there. You see the long black vehicle of the local mortician. The air feels even worse here today. It feels even hotter and more oppressive, and it seems darker. A lot darker. And there is an awning that's been set up with some chairs and a couple of benches and what looks like a temporary lectern, maybe for a pastor or a priest. And Babs is fussing about, pulling at things. And she waves at you as you come in and says, "Oh, it's just so dreadful, so dreadful. Things that happened just in the middle of the night. She was so alone."
Oh, you poor thing. Come here. I embrace her and console her as hard as I can. Yeah. She
sobs dramatically into your shoulder. Dramatically is really the only word you can use. Shyster
now,
recognizes another shyster.
Game recognized game.
Now I know this is hard, but with the heat and the rush on the proceedings, we should pick out something for her to wear, of course. Jewelry. What would she prefer to enter the next life in?
Oh, just something in a closet. I'm sure there's plenty of things up there.
Oh, come now! It's an occasion we shan't repeat. I know it's hard to go through these things, but I will get you through this hard time. Come with me. We'll find something for her.
Okay.
I am trying to charm her into a room away from the box.
I will look for the box.
Okay. So Baxter, give me a charm roll, and Shelley and anyone else who's looking for the box can give me spot hidden. You will notice as you go up the stairs that little potted plant now looks completely dead and withered next to her rock.
I got a 15 on spot hidden.
68 I fail.
That is a 13 on spot hidden.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Shelley, you're looking around.
Charm,
Mm-hmm.
You're looking around, Shelley, but you don't remember if she set it down. Did she take it with her? You're not really certain. But Carl and Gene, you can't find it. Carl, you remember it was it. She took it with her into her bedroom. It's not there. But Baxter,
Barbara.
you do lead Barbara in.
Yeah. I'm trying to snow her as hard as I can while they find the box, but I don't know that it's not there, so I keep doing it.
Yeah. So together you pick out a dress. She doesn't have anything that looks like it was made after 1910 in here, but you help her pick out a dress and jewelry and everything while the others are looking and not finding the box.
Oh yeah, I picked some ratty old thing. Oh, this is a classic design for a grand dame of her stature. A fitting dress to meet God in. I'm going on and on to try and drag it out as long as possible as they toss the house. Yeah. But yeah, once I can't do it anymore and we come down, I'm going to try and refrain my angry looks when they don't have a box in their hand. Yeah.
Yeah, not find a box, sir.
I just give him a little slight nod or a shake of my head.
I glance suspiciously at Babs, but say nothing.
So do you keep looking? Do you go to the funeral, which is about to happen? You see the mortician bringing out a coffin.
When I see there's no box, and I regard. Oh, you know what just occurred to me? The coin your grandmother mentioned from the song.
Coin? What coin?
Yeah, the coin from that the cotton-eyed gentleman gave to Rory at the hanging. She told me the whole story yesterday. It was quite enchanting.
Don't know nothing about no coin.
Well, she said it was part of the song's provenance. It might be in that container, and of course, we don't need that for the courts or the judges. Wouldn't it be just fitting to bury her with that as a final heirloom?
Give me a hard, fast talk.
Make it happen, Caleb. Bring the magic.
18, yes!
Nice. Says, well, I don't know nothing about no coin. Are you sure it's in that box?
Well, I don't know where else it could be.
Well, it could be with some of Rory's things at the records hall. Could be.
Actually, I read some of the documents I found in the attic last night, and they do seem to indicate that it could be in the box.
Okay, well.
And it's also important to verify that the box is intact and the records. A public showing could do undue damage to them, and it would be terrible if they were to be damaged during the performance.
Well, maybe, but, we ain't got the key.
Oh, Mr. Weidman, before he found Jesus, had a youth of ill repute. I'm sure we can get that box open in a jiffy.
Sure.
Getting thrown under the bus is part of your job, all right?
But as long as we still do the big dramatic opening at the performance tonight.
Oh, they won't know. They won't know.
Certainly.
And she tells you to wait there for a moment, and she disappears off back behind the house.
I slip Whiteman the coin, the key, yeah. So he can pick it, yeah.
All right, so it takes her a good 15 to 20 minutes, by which point the coffin has been brought out and set up. A couple of people have arrived. Not very many. There's maybe 10 people here, other than the young man that you saw before, dressed all in black. He's got his guitar over his shoulder again. He's sitting on a bench with his hands and crossed across his chest, and he looks very much like he doesn't want to be here. And Barbara comes back carrying the box, and a very bulky man wearing a wife beater and these tattered old jeans comes up behind her. He looks like he downs maybe a 6-pack a day, and he's looking at all of you, but she brings out the box and says, all right, fine. As long as I get my big dramatic moment.
Certainly, I would never deny that to you, especially in a time like this. Is the body down there, or like we sit in Shiva with Henrietta, or where'd they put her?
The coffin is being brought out to the front of the awning now.
Okay, so she's in the coffin, I assume? They've already
it is safe
done
to
that?
Assume that. It's safe to assume that.
Okay.
Since I am not really required for the proceedings out here, I think Carl is going to sort of wander out and kind of quietly pay his respects from the edge of the funeral proceedings.
Mm.
Try and, like, make sure his work shirt is, like, less wrinkled.
Okay. So Carl goes and pays his respects quietly. The massive man waddles his way over to the awning and sits down heavily next to the young man in black, who sighs and gets up and walks over to your group.
Okay.
Well,
hello.
I'm Hunter. Nice to meet you, I suppose. Very classic bored teenager.
You're Barbara's son, I believe.
Yep. Unfortunately. Barbara
I'm very sorry to hear for your loss.
She was the only decent person in this family.
I would have no trouble believing that. I guess I'm not at next to him, but that's my thought.
You've moved over to the awning for the moment. Well, if you're going to open it up, you got to open it up.
Mr. Whiteman, could you work your magic?
Sure. I will unlock the ornate lock on the box, but I'm not opening the fucking thing.
Oh, I'll open it. I will be happy to do that.
Are you-
Shelley's going to get her face right into it. Yeah.
I think we should all crowd around and obscure as much vision of us using the key to open it as possible. So,
Can I get some cover here, guys?
Yeah. We're a tight little group of Oh yeah, excellent. The tumblers. Good job, Mr. Whiteman.
Okay. So you're crowding around trying to prevent Babs from seeing that you're using the key. Give me a group luck roll. So the person with the lowest luck, which would be Baxter, I believe.
I have a 25.
Oh.
I also have sleight of hand at 40. Would that help?
Well, we'll see the group luck roll first.
Okay.
So, Gene.
Yep.
You have to roll luck.
I did.
What the result was good?
Very bad.
No, okay.
It was in fact the worst it could be. I rolled a 55.
Okay.
Yay!
I said, "Watch this, everyone! Get in real close to get an eye on this one. This is gonna be awesome."
Well, this isn't Delta Green, so it's not going to cause you any undue failure issues. But Babs is trying to push her way in. She's, you folks got a key or something there? Give me a sleight of hand to see if you can successfully hide the fact that you're using the key.
Oh, well, please be under a 40. Please. 35.
Okay, so even with her pushing her way, even with her pushing her way in and trying to try and figure out what you're doing, you manage to open the box and palm the key before she notices that you're using it. She says, "Oh, you're mighty strong, Mr. Whiteman."
Yep, all that time was a kid on the streets, I guess.
Feared by all the shopkeepers in Nashville before he was saved. Quite the artful dodger, this one.
I obviously don't sound like I'm from Nashville. I have a New York accent.
I was like, I thought you were from Brooklyn.
Yeah.
I elbow Mead sharply, yeah.
Ow.
Okay, so you open the box, and inside you find a small notebook, an very old-fashioned stitched and bound notebook, and a coin, heavy metal coin, and what looks like some papers. So see? There. Everything's there. Give me that box.
Wait, no, let me look at it. I opened the book a little bit to examine it, taking, very exaggerated flourishes, but, like you have the little gloves on and carefully open it to make sure it doesn't fall apart, to see, like, how intact is this book?
So it's tattered in places, but you can see in the first few pages there appear to be scrawled lyrics of various songs that you've never heard before. It looks like his songwriting notebook. And then the further you flip through, you start to see that there's what looks like splatters of some dried brown substance in places, and the handwriting gets stranger and loopier.
I see. Interesting, fascinating. Well, it'll take time to decipher some of these lyrics, but this is it. It'll take time to find out which page has the actual Cotton Eye Joe lyrics. Hours of work. So if I could just have it for the day before the performance, that would really help us all.
No. That's not what we agreed to. We
just need the coin, Miss Mead. That's all we need. The lyrics, of course, are accurate.
I will take a picture real quick before she closes the box again. It's like, okay.
Taking a picture of the inside of the box? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Does the coin look unusual? Does it look like American currency, or is it like something carved in it?
It looks like it's an American quarter from the 1850s. You didn't look at it close enough to get the date, but it looks like a quarter, which would have been decent money to pay a fiddler in those days. But there does appear to be a spatter of what looks like mud or blood on it. That's it.
Okay.
Well, I would give that to Babs as promised. Yeah. For the ceremony, of course.
She takes it, she looks at it, she shrugs, says, I suppose. If it's what she would have wanted.
Obviously.
And she takes the box under her arm and marches over to the mortician and slips him the quarter, and he looks at her very confused because the funeral's about to start. So, funeral has ended. You've buried the coin with Henrietta, which I'm sure is not going to cause any problems later. It was not an important artifact at all. And Barbara has the box again. So, do y'all have anything you'd like to do before the performance? Carl, at some point you'll have to go over and set up all the recording equipment, including one of them newfangled little microphones you can put onto Hunter's fiddle.
Yeah, I might as well busy myself with that. I don't really have much else to do.
Oh, I will ask around about Joe's shack, because it's supposed to... where did they bury Joseph Taggart, I guess? Yeah.
Okay. So according to Henrietta's story, he was buried in the swamp where they hung him, which would have been common for the time, right? For a murderer or for some other criminal, they would have buried him where they killed him. If they buried him at all, they might have just left him to sink into the swamp.
Okay.
Well, I mean, if they walked him out somewhere, I would imagine they might have a specific tree for hanging such folk. You might want to dig up where, if you start looking for where a hanging tree is, that might put you in the right direction.
Well, yeah, I'll go to well, actually, you know what? Barbara did mention the town record, so I'll go there and poke around there and see if there's anything I can find on Rory and or Joseph,
Okay. So you're going down to the city hall.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What is everyone else doing?
I'm trying to get a vibe check of the people around here. What is the general, like, I don't know, what's the atmosphere like around here? How are people reacting? How are people acting around us?
Okay. Give me a psychology roll.
Oh, cool. Well, they've been cracked so far. Yeah. Quite good at those. Unfortunately, today was only a 15 out of 10. So, shit.
Okay. So, in general, you just get the feeling of that slow-moving kind of southern town in places where it's so hot you don't want to do anything during the day. People give you the occasional glance, both at the funeral and then in town once you head back, but they don't seem to be particularly interested in you.
I like it that way. I'm all right with that.
Okay. So, what are the rest of you doing while Shelley's going to the town hall?
I mean, I might as well get a head start on my actual job, because if anything goes sideways with the recording, that actually would be my ass. So,
okay.
I'm going to try and get Barbara to sign an intensely predatory contract now that I know there's proof of that song in the box. Like a good paranormal investigator.
Of course.
Yeah.
I love that. All right. So, Shelley, you can give me a luck roll because you were going over those papers the night before.
Mm-hmm. 36 out of 50.
Okay. So one of the sets of papers that you were looking through appeared to be legal documents concerning that box in the records office, whatever it is he has there. So having that sheet of paper should allow you to look at whatever he left there beyond anything just records wise. If he left anything at the records hall, you will be able to look at it.
Great. Armed with this document, I go boldly forth.
Okay. So you head down to the city hall. Excuse me. You head down to the city hall, which is this long, low building. It contains both the mayor's office and the records hall and the auditorium, based on what Barbara said last night. It is a well-kept building. There's actual green on this building, the ivy climbing up on the pillars. There's a porch set out front with multiple rocking chairs because this kind of heat, what else are you going to do? And you see, as you go in to the records office, there is a desk with an elderly gentleman in a well-kept suit, curly white hair, a cane leaning against his desk, and rows of shelves behind him. And he gives you this brilliant smile, a very genuine, warm smile as you walk in. And he says, Well, hello there. What can I help you folks find?
Hello. Yes, I'm a I am a anthropologist and a historian, and I would like to learn more about your wonderful town's history. In particular, I have this document here. I'd like to find out if anything you have pertaining to Rory Welch or Joseph Taggart around 1850s, 1860s.
Oh, looking into Rory, huh? Well, he was our most famous resident for writing folk songs and things of that nature. Talk to anyone in roundabout towns 20, 30 years ago, they'd know who Rory was. Be good for him to get the recognition he deserves.
Exactly. I'm here to document this and tell the world about Rory's good work.
Right. Well, he died back in the 1860s. He pulls this giant ledger out from under his desk. It appears to have all the births and deaths from what you can see upside down listed in here. There's a very fresh one for Henrietta Welch down at the bottom. Very fresh.
Wow, they're on top of this shit, like on the same day. Yeah.
Yep. Well, it's a very small town. News travels very quickly, and she doesn't appear to be very busy in this office.
Fair enough.
As well, I don't know what all I can give you. We don't have a whole lot of physical records from back then. We got some clippings from the war and so on, but folks didn't write a whole lot around here, you know. So, well, I mean, if you go back further, you might find something of his. Not sure I should let you, though.
Well, I mean, it's important. I mean, I do have this. I guess I've already shown him the document. But it's the only way to guarantee that Rory's importance will be recorded. I'm from up in Nashville, and I'm here to document the musical history of this great country. And I think Rory's contributions should not be overlooked any longer.
Right? All right. Well, you wait here a minute, young lady. And he stands up. He walks with a limp. He's got a cane in one. He takes the cane in one hand, and he limps back into the filing system. It's very neat back there, from what you can see. Very well organized. And he goes straight to a back corner. You get the idea he knew where this was going to be the whole time. So he walks all the way back there, and he pulls out a wooden box. This one's little bit bigger, a little bit longer than the metal box that holds the songs and held the coin. And he brings it back, and he says, "Well, according to my predecessors, Rory left this here to be kept, only to be accessed by someone who had the proper permissions, and seems like you got those, so here you go."
Great.
He hands you the box. You're not taking this out of here, though.
Of course not. I assume there's tables nearby I can use. Right?
There is a table.
Okay, yeah.
So,
great.
Yeah.
All I need. I will document this box, open it, put it on the box, open it up, and take photos and write notes and gimme.
Okay, you're gonna get another handout in a private message. Not ominous at all. Yes.
Went so well the last time.
It was fine. I barely talk of a curse or anything.
Yes, now give us a moment for Ross to make Mr. Burns fingers and just be like,
Okay.
My character's never encountered the supernatural. This is all just mass hysteria. It's a case study. It's yeah. I'll show Margaret.
Moment of silence for Ross to react to things.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you could go on to someone else. I will summarize.
We need more ominous vocalizing. Come on, do it for the people.
Do it for the people.
Do it for the gram, Ross.
Oh, Arkham, it says. Ah, interesting.
Just shreds, you say?
Yeah, basically.
So,
whatever. Yeah.
Baxter, you're at back at the house trying to get Babs to sign a contract. How are you persuading, fast-talking, or charming her to sign this contract? She doesn't seem to understand what she's reading completely.
Excellent. I assure her that she does, and the acoustics of the contract are ready to go. Yeah. But yeah, it says I am in no way required to offer an advance. I own the name Rory Welch in perpetuity, publication rights. I fully intend to invent a person named Rory Welch and sell the records based on. Yeah, it's your standard 1950s records contract, like everything short of I own your firstborn, all that kind of stuff. Yeah,
essentially,
I can get away with it.
Yeah.
So she looks over it. She looks a bit confused as she's trying to read the language and parse it out. But of course, you're banking on the fact that it's legalese and she's not going to be able to figure everything out. So give me fast talk with a bonus die.
Okay. How does that work in this edition?
So roll your tens twice. Your tens die twice, and whatever is lower is your result.
Okay. Ooh, okay. We're probably going to take that one. Definitely taking that one. An 4.
Wow. Okay. So yeah, she just signs it. She starts getting a bit confused and says she has a headache, and you just soothe her with how well it's going to go and how much money she's going to get. So she just signs it.
Oh, it's a shame that your poor dear mother could not see the wonders you are going to make of this property with this money. But it will be a lasting testament memorial to her memory, I assure you. I just can't wait.
It's going to be wonderful. And she's looking around the house kind of with this predatory little smile, just as if she's imagining what she's going to do here with all the money.
Oh, keep imagining. That's the type of money it is. Yeah.
Gene, what are you doing?
Staying close to Baxter, whatever, kind of waiting on his word.
Okay.
Don't really have many other things I'd be doing other than just making sure this thing goes through. We get the hell out of here.
Yep. I mean, the record company has paid for this performance to go on already, and it is kind of part of the way they make sure they get the song rights all wrapped up with this performance that they now own the rights to. Before anyone else can get a hold of it. So just listening to Baxter go on and on and on.
Oh, I'm used to it. It's something new. I just kind of zone out, wait for him to finish.
Yeah, when I get the paper signed, she can keep her little box until the performance is done because I own whatever's inside of it now. And I won't say that aloud, but we will go get ready for the big debut once she's done and assured she hasn't made a terrible mistake. We can get on out of here. Yeah.
Baxter, would you like, or Mr. Scroggins, would you like me to hold the contracts?
Yes, certainly, Whiteman. It's very kind of you.
Thank you. I will put those away. Okay.
So, Carl, you're setting up in town for the performance. You don't have a whole lot of time, and you have a lot to do to get everything ready, checking the acoustics, making sure everything is set up properly, that the recording will go off without a hitch. Hunter is there, this young man. He's brought his fiddle for you to hook up for him. But he's just sitting there in this long hallway. There's American flags hung everywhere and bunting and flowers. It looks like it was set up for maybe a victory event back in 1945 and nobody ever bothered to take anything down. But he's sitting in a seat at the front of the room near the stage where you're setting up. So
I suppose if we have a private moment, but as I'm going up before I, ask about hooking up his fiddle, I will just be like, well, for what it's worth, only, met her in that brief slice of time before the end, but your grandmother certainly seemed to be a person of quality amongst less shining examples.
She was real nice, Grandma. Not like the rest of my family. She actually cared about things and people, not just money.
She encouraged your music learning?
She did. Barbara tried to stop it, said it wasn't going to make me any money in the future, but Grandma, she said I had Rory's touch. I could do something with it if I want to. I learned guitar, I learned fiddle. Gonna make it big one day.
Well, I believe I spent a little bit of time in Nashville, and I'll tell you, there's no way of predicting who does. You just you take your shots where you can find them. Other than that, I don't know how nothing works but electricity.
Well, I'm sure I'll make it if I can get out of here. Maybe the money that's coming in will distract Barbara enough that I can get out of here. She doesn't really care. But I make some money with my fiddling and stuff around here, so she keeps a hold.
Well, I know the type. And I will say, though he don't care for much, if you put on a good enough show to sort of bend my boss's neck your way, you might be able to at least get a reference or something for up in the city. Just, you put on the best show you can, and that's all you can do. You let your art be the art,
He brightens up slightly, like you get an actual little hint of a smile on that very sullen face. He says, That's what I'm hoping for. Barbara says this will be good, so...
I am not one for long and deep conversations and heart-to-hearts, but I wish you the best in whatever way people do that for music performances. I always get it mixed up in my head. But that said, if I may, wire up your the instrument for the microphones, and we can be ready for you to show us what you got.
He smiles slightly and hands the fiddle over. He starts doing like a vocal warm-up in the corner, getting his voice ready. And you can see he's sort of mimicking fiddle movements with his fingers, like as if he's playing his fiddle while he's singing, just to get all ready and warmed up for the big event. It is now getting close to time. Shelley, you've spent some time reading what's there, which isn't a whole lot.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I copied it. I copied the especially the hound at part. Yeah.
Copied out the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I mean, yeah. Have it on my notebook. And like, so it does have a song in there and like song lyrics, or is it just because it refers to the okay. It
does. I just don't want to send it to you just yet.
Okay.
Mostly because then we'll get another
Yeah.
distracted.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I definitely copy the song lyrics and yeah.
I mean, we'll hear it soon enough at the massacre. I mean, kind of.
Oh, this is a different song. There's something about
two songs.
Banishing? Yeah. No, it's fine. Yeah.
It's totally fine.
Peyton noises intensify.
So do y'all meet up again? Well, not Carl, because Carl's in the hall before you go to the performance, because it's getting on to be about that there time.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just meet at the hall. Yeah, I think I'm good to go unless Whiteman needs anything.
Okay.
Nope.
All right. So you hand the documents back to BB, as he tells you to call him Shelley, Billy Beauregard, and he files the documents reverently back into the box. He's wearing gloves, you'll be happy to see, as he puts things back in, closes the box up, locks it, says, well, y'all come back now if you need anything.
Oh, yes. I'll probably... Be paying to
If
visit again.
if I ain't got a file on it, it ain't worth knowing about.
I laugh at his joke.
He smiles, and you can head over to the town hall. So the town hall already has some people filtering into it. There is a very sweaty man in a very cheap suit standing outside the door welcoming people in. You assume this is the mayor, and he does in fact introduce himself as the mayor and is shaking hands and glad handing, making little comments to people. And he introduces himself to you as Mayor Howard as you come in. And he seems very excited to see you, in particular, Baxter.
Yes.
He's, talking about all the tourism, the money this might bring in for the town, and you recognize another person like yourself in him, as he's just talking very fast and without a whole lot of actual emotion in it, as he welcomes everybody in.
I mirror his hollow charms. Yes. This is a new day for Bon Marais. It's on the map. I'm equally excited. Yeah.
So by the time the performance is due to start, there's about 50 people in here, which is probably most of the town, and everyone is sitting very expectantly. Hunter is up at the front, seated on the stage with the microphone. He's looking a little more energetic than you've seen him before, and Carl in particular, you'll notice this. He's got his fiddle hanging loosely in one hand and the bow in the other. And Babs is in a very, very tight wiggle dress with the 3 sets of oversized pearls and her hair piled up even higher to be closer to God. And she walks up onto the stage, the click-clacking of her heels driving you partially mad as she takes these tiny mincing steps because she cannot move in this dress. But she's holding the box in one hand, and she looks out at everyone and says, welcome to the performance of Cotton-Eyed Joe, the original, by my great-great-grandpappy, Rory Welch. You all know of Rory. I hardly need to go over his legacy and his story with the fine folks of Bon Marais, but I'd like to thank the representatives from Royal Jaune Records for hosting this performance tonight and for bringing my great-great-grandpappy's legacy to light. People will know, and they'll come and visit and spend their money, and it'll just be absolutely wonderful. For his legacy, of course. It is a shame that my Grandma Henrietta can't be here with us. A moment of silence. And she literally takes half a second before she picks up talking again.
Okay, yeah.
And she pulls a key out from her pocket, and she dramatically opens this creaking box, and she tilts it to show to people that there's this notebook inside and some papers. Says, well, song's in here, the original one. So we're going to have my dear son, my talented boy, Hunter, perform it for us for the very first time ever it's been heard or sung since great-great-grandpappy passed away. And she pulls out the notebook and she passes it over to Hunter. And he very carefully flips through the book. Some of the pages look like they're going to tear if he's not super careful with it. He's very gently turning the pages. And then he pauses. He looks at a page, looks to be near the back of the book from where you're sitting. And he nods. And then he starts to sing. And I'm not going to sing the whole song because I am tone deaf personally. But you hear the first line, Cotton-Eyed Joe, Cotton-Eyed Joe, where do I come from? Where will I go? Singing from this gallows, heart as black as coal. And his voice begins to rasp as he gets past those first couple of lines. The lights begin to flicker all around you as he continues on to the next lines of the song. His eye is black, his grin is rot, his neck is wrong, but what of that? And he starts singing louder, and his fiddle begins to wildly play. And as he hits the chorus of the song, his eyes roll back in his head, and you see only the whites. His body begins to shake as he's playing this song. He doesn't stop singing, he doesn't stop playing. He keeps going despite the fact that his body is at odd angles that should not be possible for him to continue to play. His head turns. He should not be making sounds with his throat the way his neck is twisted, but he continues to sing. And
I'm taking photos.
The words become strange and dissonant. You can't quite making them out. It's alien sounding almost to you, and his voice becomes this croaking, disturbing whisper, like he's being strangled as he sings. And a strange, foul wind begins to blow through the hall, smelling of swamp water and rot, penetrating everything and everyone around you. And I would like a sanity roll from everybody, please.
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
Oh, shit. 97. So no.
Is that a fumble for you, Baxter? What's your sanity?
It is a 45, so.
All right, so that's a fumble. I'll deal with you in a moment. How'd everybody else do?
Failed.
Yeah, I crit failed too.
so
I got a 98.
Okay. What's your sanity, Shelley?
Let's see. My starting sanity is 50.
Okay, so that's not a critical fumble for you because you have 50 or above. You have to roll 100 to fumble on that.
I see.
Carl, how'd you do?
I rolled a 61. My sanity is 45. So
okay, so we have all fails, which is great. So Shelley, you're going to lose 3 points of sanity. Carl, you lose 2. Gene, you lose 5.
Yay, there we go.
Yep, and Baxter, because you fumbled, you're going to lose the full 6.
Yeah. I guess that's a temporary.
Well, it might be. You both need to make me intelligence rolls. So Gene and Baxter, give me int rolls.
Oh, I really passed that, so that's
great.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. Not 4 out of 45. I really see the
you really
the
understand
true reality.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Baxter,
I get an 84, so no.
All right, which is good because you don't want to pass this intelligence roll. So Baxter,
I no longer live on the Placid Isle of ignorance anymore.
Yeah, Baxter, you're rationalizing this away. It's some kind of special effects. He's putting on some kind of weird performance, like some of the newer artists coming into Nashville are doing these days. But Gene, you completely understand how impossible this is, the way his neck is twisting. He should not be able to sing this way. This is impossible. And the smell and the sound and the lights flickering, you feel this cold, damp, moist hand across the back of your neck. That's what it feels like just for a brief moment. And you're going to have a bout of madness. I'm going to roll for that and see what we get.
Whee!
Oh boy. Oh boy. So you are going to have a bout of violence. A red mist descends over your eyes as you realize that something is horribly wrong, and it takes you back to your time in the war. You're suddenly not sure where you are, but you know that you need to stop the people around you. That's going to last for 2 rounds, so not too long, which is good for the people around you because they're your compatriots. But you are going to go into a burst of violence as the townsfolk start yelling and screaming and clutching their ears. Some people appear to be bleeding out of the ears. You hear prayers calling for the Lord's mercy as people begin flooding towards the exit. What do you do, Gene?
Well, the source of this trouble seems to be right in front of me, so old trusty 38's gonna try and put a round in that thing. Like,
Content warning: harm to teenagers. Okay.
Man,
Are
you
you-
really did not like the performance.
So,
More of a country music guy, not really a folk.
all right. So, are you shooting at Hunter?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So, give me that firearms roll.
33 out of 45.
Okay, that was close. I'm not sure we wanted this one to be a pass, but here we go. So, give me that.
Gene most certainly does. And then the rest
Of course. So, give me that damage roll.
So the D8. We'll find
Yep, should be a
real
D8.
quick. 7.
Ouch. All right, I'm going to make a con roll for him. He passes. So, you shoot him through the chest, and he turns and looks at you, or you think he's looking the way his eyes are rolled back. There's blood pooling down his chest, and he's still singing. Despite the fact that you have shot him almost point blank center mass, he is still singing. He doesn't appear to see you. He doesn't appear to hear you. There's an aura of darkness that is settling in around him. You can almost feel it, the way it's darkening and darkening and darkening. As you look at him, you hear this incredibly loud, discordant fiddle music, despite the fact that the fiddle is hanging loosely from his hand as he sings, and you can hear this loud, croaking laugh. And then his body begins to rise. He's jerked up onto the tips of his toes, and he's clutching at his throat, almost as if he's being strangled. But he's still singing. And he looks at all of you, and the few people who are still here, including Barbara, and he laughs this deep laugh again. And then he says in a deep, deep voice, "I'ma see you soon. Real soon now." And Hunter's head twists at an unnatural angle, and he collapses to the ground. And so the three of you who are not currently in bouts of madness make me a sanity roll. Gene, you're fine because you're still in a bout.
You're fine because you're still crazy.
Oh, that's another
Yep.
fail.
Okay.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Did you
Me
fumble
do
again,
that.
Carl? Or not
I got
Carl?
a 94. I don't know if
94.
that's a fumble,
That's
but it's
not
a
a
94.
fumble. You need a
Yeah.
96 to fumble. Carl, how'd you do?
Well,
I got a 62 this time, one higher than before. Still a regular failure.
Y'all's dice are calling for violence tonight.
I
keep
told
switching
you.
out my
Honestly,
dice
that's
and all
average for
hate-
Caleb. He's just,
We pass
Yeah.
everything until it matters, and then
Yeah.
Royal Jaune did not send their best.
No. Shelley, you lose 1.
okay.
Carl, you lose 4. And
Oh.
Baxter, you lose 2
Okay.
for seeing this horrific sight.
A quick drop to 37 from 45, but okay.
All right. So, Gene, you see the boy collapse to the ground in a pool of blood after hearing this horrific voice, but you still have one more round of violence.
I mean, it's worth shooting once, it's worth shooting twice.
Can I try and stop him?
Yeah.
Grab his gun. All right.
Yep, so it'll be a dex off. So
Okay.
both of you roll dex.
Let's see here. 56 out of 75.
Yeah, 54 out of 60.
So you both succeeded.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Who has the higher dex, Gene or Shelley?
Minus 75.
Mine's 60.
Okay, so Shelley's going to win this one because her dex is higher. That's how it goes with ties usually. So Shelley, you managed to knock Gene's hand just as he's firing. And Gene, you come to your senses as the shot goes off and all of your ears are now ringing both with this laugh and the remains of the song and with the shot that's just been fired, the second one. And you come to your senses and realize you just shot someone, a teenager.
Yeah, I think I'm going to run up on the stage and attempt to do first aid on the shot child.
Okay. So run up and give me that first aid roll.
All right.
How are the rest of you reacting to all of this?
Gene, stop it! What are you doing?
I would think for someone who has witnessed the horrors of war, this is terribly upsetting for Gene. So Gene's like, "You saw what the hell that thing was doing?
You can't shoot him."
You did see it, right?
I don't know what I saw. It's mass hysteria. It's nothing. It's the swamp is affecting us. And clearly there's some unknown pathogen in the air that's causing us to doubt our own senses. He was just playing a song, and that's it. There's no objective evidence. It's just our perception, and this is already documented. This is like St. Valentine's dance. It's just another case of mass hysteria.
Sure. Baxter, you saw that.
Gene, go get the car.
All right, boss.
Carl, how did you do on your first aid?
Not well. 76 over 40.
Okay. So Hunter appears to be in a coma. As far as you can tell, he's non-responsive. You can't get any... Like, he's got a pulse. It's kind of thready, but he's not responding at all. You try to patch up the bullet wound, and nothing happens. Like, you staunch the bleeding a little bit, but then it bleeds through again. And Barbara comes rushing up and pushes you out of the way. We gotta get to the doctor.
Yeah, we definitely do need to do that. Where is the doctor?
I'll take care of this. You've already done enough. Oh, Hunter, baby, Hunter.
I will grab the notebook.
Okay.
Good work, Dr. Mean. I only hire the best.
While she's looking at her dying son. Uh-oh.
And I'm the fucking monster.
This is for science. It's for academic knowledge and my career.
So, Ross, I've now sent you the song that you read in Rory's work.
Okay.
And then later I'll send you the one that's actually in the journal or in the notebook. So we'll see how that goes.
Okay.
So the rest of you can give me a listen roll.
Okay.
I make that, of course.
Of
Not
course
the
you do.
sanity rolls.
I'll make that.
I fail. I don't.
Carl, pass.
I also fail.
If you passed, you hear both Barbara and the mayor humming the song under their breath, just casually humming it. And it's that slowed down version.
I'm just trying to get past Barbara to make sure that try and keep the bleeding, keep pressure on the wound or something. If we're waiting for a doctor, are we waiting for a doctor? Are we taking him to the doctor? What are we doing?
She's picked him up at this point and has started carrying him. Not very fast because she's in those ridiculous heels.
How about I carry the kid and you tell me where to go?
Okay, fine. She dumps him into your arms. So you can take Hunter to the doctor. He's only a small country doctor, as he puts it, but he looks horrified and starts patching Hunter up, and he shoos you out. And you can hear Hunter muttering the words to the song as the doctor shoos you out of the room.
Okay, well, consciousness is good. That's, okay. I leave when he shoos me out. I'm just, okay, kid's still a little conscious. That's better than the alternative. Shit.
Baxter, where are you at?
Breaking down Hunter's recording equipment and just chucking it into the trunk.
Yeah, I'm like, boss, car, now.
Yeah, we are salvaging everything we can and getting the fuck out of here. Yeah. What performance? We didn't make it. I signed the contract and left. No one could prove we was there. Security cameras haven't been invented yet. Yeah, just getting all the evidence I can and getting the hell out. Yeah.
Where are Shelley and Carl? Because I'm about 3 seconds away from not giving a shit.
I would be like helping breaking that, just like, boy, just kind of babbling, like, boy, if it's really quite a convincing performance. I mean, of course, people. Yeah.
Shut the hell up. Shut up.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, it's a good thing magic isn't real, because otherwise we'd be cursed. That's what the journal said.
Shut up.
We'd have to go into the swamp to do. Yeah, I'll shut up. Oh, okay.
Wait, cursed?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Oh, that's what happened to Rory and some other people who hung Joe, is they complained of fevers and intense pain, and they in a sense curse, a psychosomatic thing, I believe.
Am I gonna have to give the cars a place for quiet reflection? Talk in a second,
but the only way to remove the curse was a banishing song performed in the swamp with something owned by Joe at on a full moon. It's there's actually a third song, a banishing song that I found. Yeah, so there's 3 versions of the song: the normal one, the one we just heard, and a banishing song.
That sounds like a small town Louisiana's problem.
Well, I mean, if the curse is real, then we're all cursed and we're going to die horribly. But, that's not real, so we're fine.
I'm going to assume that's right when I get back from the doctor.
Yes, that's right when you get home. Or not home, it's right when you get back to the town hall in the car.
So yeah, let's go back to Nashville.
Are we just gonna leave Gene holding a gun that he seems a little too willing to use? Is this not a conversation we're gonna be having?
You're willing to try to take it from me?
I punched him.
I'm driving the car.
We're not in the car
yet.
I thought we're at the car now.
No.
We're at
At
the
the
car.
car.
I'm loading it. I'm
Right.
not leaving behind all the recording equipment. That's evidence we were here.
No, since you bring it up, I do punch you and attempt to take the gun. Like, that's what's going to happen if you say
Fight
that.
back with Hunter.
Okay, so
Stop it.
we're having
Stop it.
PvP.
Yeah, we are.
Yay!
All right, so both of you make fighting brawl rolls.
Woo! Causing trouble on purpose. God, what is it with the 60s today?
I got a 59 out of 65.
Yeah, no, I whiff.
Okay, so are you attempting to hit him, Gene, as he attempts to take the gun from you?
Yeah, I'm fighting back. If he's going to swing at me, I'm not just going to let him do it.
All right, so give me D3 plus your damage bonus if you have one.
I do. I'm a big
So
boy.
D3 plus a D4. This could be bad.
5 damage.
Oof.
All right, Carl, is that half your hit points?
I got 13.
Okay, so no. So it's not a major wound, which is good, but he does shatter your nose.
Everybody stop it, goddammit. Stop it.
Hunter, you made me do that.
Put the fucking gun down, or you're going to have to shoot my ass too.
The gun's put away. It's in the holster.
No, not on you. You don't get to have a fucking gun if you shoot a child.
Pretty sure that's what I'm paid to have on me as a gun. I did something to look out for the rest of us. Baxter, you gonna back me up here?
God damn it, we are in a town that just told us a elaborate story about how they kill people without trial, and you just shot a kid on a live stage in front of the entire populace. We have got to get the hell gone from here, god damn it. Get in stop fighting with each other, get in the car, we gotta go now.
Everyone give me hard power rolls.
Uh-oh.
You're so paranoid.
How does the hard
that's
thing work again?
Half of your
your
power. Mhm.
Okay, it's, if my power is an odd number, do I round down or up?
It should be on your character sheet. It's that number.
Yeah, it
Oh,
should say
okay.
on your
I
character
see.
sheet.
Yeah.
22. Gotcha. Okay.
It's totally a good thing that a hard power roll is totally succeeded with an 86.
Fail.
Yeah, I fail too.
Hey, Baxter?
Oh god, no.
Okay, so everybody failed is what I'm hearing. Everybody.
Mhm.
All right. So you're all starting to, as you're arguing and getting your noses broken and putting equipment into the car, you're all humming the song a little bit, but at different points in the song. So it's this kind of really heavy, discordant melody. Nothing is lining up properly. And Baxter, you start to feel tension in your throat. and you start coughing, and you start choking. And the rest of you see dirty swamp water and insects come flooding out of his mouth.
I'm just going to go ahead and roll sand.
You're going to roll that sand real quick.
Yeah.
And then you see a snake slither out between his teeth.
You didn't have to add that. That's not any better. Jesus. Okay, I rolled a 97.
I rolled a 99.
What are y'all's sanities?
35.
Okay, so that's fumbles for both of you.
Hell
so
yeah.
You take the max of 3 each.
Okay.
Remember to keep track of your sanity. Once you've lost 1/5 of your starting sanity, bad things happen, so keep an eye on that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's happened.
That's happened?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How'd you do,
now.
Carl?
I regular failed.
You regular failed? Okay. So you only lose 1 on the D3. So, Gene...
Do I lose anything for puking snakes?
We'll get to you in a second.
Okay.
I'm dealing with the people who are
all right.
doing
Fair
this
enough.
first.
I didn't know if I needed to roll.
Yeah. So, Gene, you're 1/5. You've lost 1/5 of your starting san, yeah? So
Yes.
that means that any sanity you lose automatically triggers a bout.
Oh boy.
So I'm going to roll, see what happens.
Fingers crossed, more violence.
I don't know. Running alone into the swamp sounds pretty good too.
Look, I owe Caleb a fucking player kill for him killing me in a game last time we played together.
You did this.
So, Gene, they're out to get you, Gene. They brought you here specifically to kill you. They never liked you. You were always the outsider at the company, on this team. They're out to get you. And you are now afflicted with paranoia.
Great.
And that's going to last for 5 rounds. Which essentially is just a few minutes, but
Right.
still, you're
Do we
paranoid.
need?
A long few minutes with a person with a firearm.
Yeah, do we need
That's
to
what I
like
rolled,
clear
man.
Scroggins? Do we need to like clear Scroggins' airway or something? Like, is he able
Yeah,
to
so-
breathe?
Baxter, give me that sanity roll.
Okay. Well, here I go beneath my
You're
1/5.
coughing and choking, yeah.
Holy shit!
Did you pass?
I got a 36 out of 37 left,
Nice. All right. So,
which also happens to be when I hit 1/5. Yeah.
well, that's good that you passed that then.
Mhm.
So, the thing for you is, as you're coughing and choking, Baxter, the way you rationalize this is as soon as these things fall to the ground, they're gone. They're no longer there. So, you tell yourself maybe what? How do you rationalize that?
They dosed me with something. Obviously, it was in that goddamn tea.
Yeah, it's that slow acting dose. That's how they get you.
Super slow, like 24 hours.
Time release.
Mm.
So as I'm coughing, if I can get control of myself again,
Mm-hmm.
I crawl myself back up Dr. Mead and go, banishing song? What was that you said about a banishing song?
Yes. I wrote it down here in my notes. We need something that from Joe when he was alive. So, and I'm sorry to say this, Mr. Scroggins, that coin that you had buried with Henrietta, I think that was the coin Joe gave to Rory. So we got to get that coin back.
You did this on purpose, Baxter. You knew put us in this fucking situation.
To what end?
I don't know. You tell
So
me.
I could throw up goddamn bog creatures on the fucking street? Like, how does this profit the company? Explain it to me.
Well, there's some theories about the collective unconscious. You know, have you heard of Jung? He was
Shut
talking.
the hell up, me! Is there a hardware store in this town?
It's a feed store, probably.
Yeah.
Anywhere I could get tools.
There'd be a hardware and feed store.
I mean, I don't even know if they've had time to finish burying her yet. We might just want to go straight there if we're going straight there.
Yeah, we're going back to the house. You got to drive us back to the house, Whiteman.
Okay. Oh, I will. I will drive them back to the house.
Okay. You drive them back to the house, and you swear as you're driving, Gene, the roots of the trees around you are reaching out and trying to grab onto your vehicle. You can feel them almost wrapping around the tires as you push your way through towards the house. There is a... Go ahead.
Does the radio work?
Give me a luck roll. Group luck roll, so that means Gene.
God damn it, Gene.
I got this. I don't got this.
The radio does not work.
All right. Well, so much for drowning the song out.
Cal is just bleeding vaguely from the nose and smoking in the back seat. Or Carl, rather.
Oh, we're all smoking. It's the 50s.
9 out of 10 doctors suggest, camel.
So you're all smoking, and the song is playing furiously in your heads. You can't get it to stop. The further you get from town, the worse it gets. It's building and building and building in your brains. And there's those strange sounds that he was making that sounded like they could be words, but ancient and something you don't understand. You can hear them, but you don't understand them, and it's like the worst possible earworm ever.
Oh my! There's something to this. You don't understand what this means. I don't understand what this means. What does this mean? Somebody tell me.
Gene, as you're driving, you suddenly see dangling from a branch right in front of you is a tall, lanky man with his head cropped at an impossible angle as he's dangling from a rope. And you see these big black pools of his eyes as he opens his mouth, and he laughs at you as he brushes up against the car dangling from this tree.
Yeah.
And then he's
Great.
gone.
Awesome.
No sanity roll because you're still in a bout.
Pretend like I didn't see that. That's all normal.
For the best.
Clearly that's something Baxter set up to freak you out.
Yeah, it's Baxter's doing.
Okay.
Damn, Baxter, why you gotta do that?
So you make your way back to the house, finally getting over these grasping tree branches and hallucinations and whatever else it is. And as you get out of the car, you can see the fresh plot where Henrietta's been buried, but there's no headstone yet. You just see the disturbed earth. The sound of the insects around you is unbearable. It's like there's thousands and thousands of flies and mosquitoes and other insects buzzing around. You can't see them, but you hear them. You see a few here and there. A mosquito bites you, as they do. A fly might land on your head, but it just sounds like there's thousands of them all around, and it's providing this staticky backdrop to the song playing in your heads.
So wait, the banishing song, we need to perform something with the owned by
Joe.
Joe, right?
Yeah, something when he was alive. Then there's the banishing song, which I've written down. Then we got to go to where he died in the swamp on a full moon with no stars out. So hopefully tonight.
Well, you didn't say that part before.
Well, we got to do. I just mentioned the first step, and that's this. And then we got to hold on to what belonged to him. And we got to sing the song. If you can do that, you can stick him out in that bit of the swamp forever. So yeah, it's a binding ritual. Actually, it kind of reminds me of Hermetic. Well, look, that's not here or there. You're at the Golden Bow. I guess not.
Dig.
Yeah.
Are there still shovels or tools around from before? Like, what do we got? What do we find?
So I'm not going to make you make a luck roll here because I'm not that evil. I am a generous god.
Well, I got this.
There is still there is still a couple of shovels out here.
I rolled 100.
I start furiously digging at the hole.
digging. What do I roll to? I push X to dig. What am I? What do I do?
You don't have to roll to dig. It just takes you a few minutes, and you feel like every last nerve is being flayed by this song that is now getting even louder, and the insects that are around you, and the heat and the humidity, and the light from the full moon that is barely cutting through the darkness that hangs over you. But you can dig down until you hit her coffin.
Yeah, I rip that son of a bitch open. Yeah.
Okay, so you rip the coffin open, and inside you see Henrietta. She's wearing that white nightgown, Carl, that you saw in a dream last night. Her eyes are wide open, and she looks terrified and very, very dead. But it's no wonder they didn't have an open casket.
Sorry to barge in, ma'am. I'm scrambling around for that coin.
Yep. So you find the coin because Barbara essentially just chucked it in, and it's just there. It's just a normal quarter, it looks like, but it does have flecks of potentially dried blood.
Don't love that. Not thinking about that. Just here, Doc. Here's a coin. Here, have a quarter.
Okay, so now we have to find the place where he died. We should probably go back in time and get some lanterns and things. Yeah.
Well, you have flashlights, but Shelley, with your research earlier into the town, into Rory and everything, you'd know more or less where you need to go into the swamp because they did have a hanging tree. Although legends suggest that after Joe died, they stopped using that particular tree.
Weird. Okay, well, I actually have an idea of where to go. And we just have to hope these, this is the stars are right. Well, no stars are out. Full moon, no stars. And then we have to practice. We have to sing the song. I'll write a copy for each of us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's
I can
discuss
put that in the one shots thread then for everybody to see.
Yeah, we can job. Can you write and walk? Because I'd really like to be on the way there while I still have a head for this thing to be in.
So you're walking out into the swamp, or?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would like to drive as far as we can, but yeah, we'll walk after that. Yeah.
Okay,
if at all possible.
I'm not getting the car anywhere near anywhere it can get stuck. Fuck that.
Yeah.
You're walking.
Yeah, I go with, I agree with child shooter over there.
Just not going to let that go.
That
kind of sticks with you.
I grab Mead. Were there instruments, anything to play inside when you were looking around the house?
Yeah, it's just a broken fiddle, and
like
real broken, not a little bit.
Yeah. I feel like it just mentioned singing. It doesn't say anything about playing a fiddle.
Yeah, y'all never sang in a church choir. Come on, let's go.
Yeah.
All right. So you move out into the swamp. You have to walk. There's no way you can drive here. And the air feels close and heavy, like it's sticking to you, and you almost have to push your way through it. You see slithering snakes moving around in the waters beyond you, if you can call it water, this heavy swamp muck. There's the baleful eyes of alligators, you think, glinting back and reflecting at you from your flashlight. The humming of the insects is now worse from the fact that you can actually see the insects now. You are surrounded by a swarm of mosquitoes and flies that are buzzing and climbing around your skin, buzzing into your ears.
Ooh.
I make it out of this, I'm going back to the fucking mountains, I tell you.
And as you go, I would like a dex roll from everybody.
Oh boy.
Oh no.
No?
Nope.
34 out of 60.
Okay, so Gene is fine. Carl?
59, regular failure.
Okay. Note that you can
Also
spend
fail.
luck. You can spend luck to pass rolls. That is a thing
Oh.
you are allowed to do.
Oh, okay. I'll spend 7 points of luck and
Okay.
yeah.
But
failed
30 points of luck still won't get me to a success.
Won't get you to a
So,
success. That's
yeah.
bad. That's a bad fail.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm gonna stay with failing. Let's see where this goes.
Okay. So as you're moving through the swamp and the insects are buzzing, the song is hammering away at your brain. Baxter and Carl, you suddenly feel something reach out and grab you around the ankles and start pulling, and you look down and you see tree roots that have somehow wrapped themselves around your ankles and are dragging you back towards the swamp.
I scream for help. Yeah.
Yep. Also gonna do that.
So Shelley and
Something's got
Gene,
my- yeah, something's
you
got
see
my leg.
Baxter and Carl being dragged by the ankles.
I will attempt to grab Baxter and pull him
I'll-
free of whatever.
I will attempt to grab Carl.
Okay, so give me strength rolls, both of you.
Anthropologist, skip arm and leg day.
76 out of 70. I'll spend 6 luck to help you out.
Save
there.
Thank
Baxter.
you.
What'd you do, Shelley?
I will spend 11 points of luck to yeah.
Okay.
You're gonna die by my hands, goddammit. Ain't no swamp branch gonna take my friend. I'm
Burst of
gonna take him.
adrenaline flows through Shelley. It's like, what would Margaret do? I'd do better.
All right. So you both managed to pull Carl and Baxter, respectively, out of the grasping roots. Your feet come away sticky and heavy with swamp muck. Both of you, Carl and Baxter, as you were nearly pulled into the swamp and under the water. But you have been saved by your friends here.
Thanks, Doc.
Friends.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. You'll get a raise, I swear. Yeah.
Oh, you're goddamn right.
So you keep making your way through the swamp. Pale moonlight is heavy, almost. The way it has to pierce through the darkness. But it doesn't give you that much in the way of light, strangely. You get more light from your torches than you do from the moon. And you see a small clearing up ahead of you. Shelley, you recognize it from the map, more or less. But first, I would like luck rolls from everybody.
Cool.
We're so good at these.
I just burned
And you-
18 points of it.
was your
Holy
turn.
shit, I made one.
I fail.
Congratulations.
95 out of 19.
Okay.
I also fail.
I fail.
Okay. What did you get, Carl? Like number wise?
I got a 60. What was that? 67.
So Gene has the worst fail here.
Yeah, imagine that.
Imagine that. So all of a sudden, as you're making your way towards this clearing, you know you're getting there. An alligator with bright red eyes suddenly lunges up at you out of the swamp and attempts to snap at your leg. So give me a dex roll or a hard dex roll or a dodge roll, whichever is better for you.
Let me look.
Yeah, I guess if you have dodge trained, it would be better that way, but otherwise.
No, not necessarily, because my dodge and my hard decks are exactly the same.
Yeah,
Yeah.
your starting dodge is half your dex, yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
Oh shit!
so-
Ot 3.
Nice. So this
Fucking
thing
alligator.
This thing snaps at you and misses, and it slides back into the swamp, but you swear you feel its beady little red eyes still watching you as you move forward.
Can I see its beady red eyes looking at me?
You can. Would you like
I'm
to
gonna
shoot
put
it?
yes, I'm putting a bullet between those beady red eyes.
Okay. Give me a firearms roll.
26. I pass.
Okay. Roll your D8 of damage.
3. I just piss
Okay.
it off. Now
So-
it's mad.
Yep. So you
And
shoot at
hungry.
it, and there's this horrible stench as you hit it somewhere around the head, and it doesn't smell like blood. It smells like death and rot, like a corpse that's been left out in the sun for too many days. And it is overwhelming. But it stays in the swamp, watching you. Are you continuing?
I mean, I'm not waiting on him. We don't need to have a full chorus. We just need to get there with harmony. Let's go.
Okay.
I will make sure Gene can see us before I start continuing on, leading the way.
Yeah, I'm staying close to the group. I'm getting eaten by an alligator, so are they.
Okay. So you make your way over to this small clearing. All of the trees, the moss, everything here is dead. There are no living ivy vines, cypress trees. Even the moss is brittle and devoid of color. The only sign of life around here is the insects buzzing around your ears, biting at every exposed surface now that you have made it here. They're not just landing on you, they are actively biting you. The low, mournful tune of the song that you've heard tonight thrums around you, sinking into the air, into the mud and the muck of the swamp itself, diving into your chest so that you feel it with your entire body. A solitary tree stands in the center of the clearing. Its branches are bare and pointing towards the baleful moon. All the branches save one is bent towards the ground as if bending under a heavy weight, creaking in non-existent wind. Dangling from a rope on that branch is a body, twisting and writhing. The body is completely skeletal, dressed in tattered, old-fashioned garments from a century past. As you look at it, the head turns around 180 degrees with a horrible creaking sound, looking at you with a horrific rictus grin of death as it opens its jaw and begins to sing. Sanity rolls? Sanity rolls.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, it seems reasonable.
Gotcha.
Oh, guess what? It is. I don't have enough luck.
You can't spend luck on sanity, so...
Oh, well, there you go. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Can't spend luck or on sanity. So,
Fair.
you failed, Shelley. Baxter, if
90.
you got another crit fail, I swear to the gods.
No, just a 72 this time. So
Okay.
just a rego failure.
Carl?
If I take any damage, it will take me below a fifth, though.
You will take Sam off,
I failed. Regular fail. 80.
Okay, Gene?
Hooray.
Oh, I failed.
Failed. Okay, great. So we're about to have at least 2 bouts here. As Shelley.
Oh,
Mm.
that's a
Seeing
big
an elder
die.
thing. Yeah.
Oh,
So you lose 3, Shelley.
okay. Puts me exactly at 40, which is 1/5 of my start.
Okay, so we're about to
Yep.
have another bout there. Congratulations. Gene, you lose 5, and it's going to put you in another bout because you've lost a 5th. Carl, you lose 4.
Oh, that is about for me as well.
Yes, 4 simultaneous. As Baxter, you lose 6. Baxter's just taking a sanity beating in this game.
Oof.
Okay, so we've got 4 simultaneous bouts going on, so I'm about to roll these. Unless, and I offer this at the end of a game usually, do you have ideas for what you would like to do for your bout? Or should I roll?
Oh,
Up
no,
to
I
every
want the
individual
randomness.
I leave
Okay.
mine a chance. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
same.
All right, let's see. Crack the knuckles. Let's start with Carl. Boy. Carl,
Mm-hmm.
you are the hero of this story.
Oh, yeah, I am.
You are going to save everyone. You know what you need to do. You are going to stop this horrific thing that you are looking at.
Mm-hmm.
You and only you can do this, Carl. You were always meant to be the hero.
Uh-huh.
This is your story.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so that's Carl. Baxter. Oh dear. Baxter. You now have hydrophobia. You are
great.
terrified of water.
It's a good place to be in a swamp. Yeah.
Okay. Gene? Oh boy. You've gone violent again.
Ah!
Oh no. This is
Why does the guy with the gun always
I
get to go
know.
violent?
I know. I was hoping for paranoia again, but no. All right, Shelley?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, this one's fun. Okay. So, Shelley, you need to document all of this. You need to be the observer. You need to be the detached scientific observer taking notes. You need to like, this might be the first actual real documented curse and haunting that anyone's ever seen. So
Proof of life after death. It's amazing.
Just
Yes.
think of all the conference papers you can get out of this.
Oh, I'm getting my camera out with the flash bulb, and I'm going to town. Yeah.
Okay, so that's gonna last for 5 rounds for you. 6 rounds for Gene. 10 rounds for Baxter. And 6 rounds for you, Carl. So we're about to essentially go into initiative here. So can everyone give me your dex roll? Dex number.
60.
40.
A 40 for Baxter.
75.
75 for me.
50.
60 for Gene. Roll. Okay, so Shelley, you are going to go first. So you see this horrific sight in front of you, and the world just kind of falls away as you realize the scientific importance of what you are seeing. What do you do?
I get my camera out and take a photo.
Okay.
With the flash bulb. Yeah.
Okay. So you start taking pictures. The rest of you see Shelley just start taking a picture.
It's a scientific find of the century. Oh my God, we'll be famous. Proof of life after death. It defies metaphysics and everything we know. This is bigger than the atomic bomb. Yeah.
All right. So Shelley is ranting. And it is now Joe's turn as something wriggles out of the swamp, and I'm going to need a group luck roll.
I got
Not group for Gene. Everybody make a roll.
Okay. Not for Virginia.
15. I fucking passed.
20. I actually passed too.
Wow.
72. No.
No.
80.
Okay. So, Carl, you have the worst fail here. And something comes slithering out of the swamp, and you see this massive snake, cottonmouth. Biggest you've ever seen. And it is going to rear back and try and bite onto your ankle. Give me a dodge or fight back. You can either attempt to punch the snake, or you can attempt to dodge the snake.
Punch the snake!
Oh, I have to punch the snake. I'm the hero.
Oh no.
Okay.
It's different
Yes,
than punching
That's true.
dogs.
Heroes don't dodge, heroes punch.
And
True,
I
they
fail. 67 over
Okay.
45.
It passes. So
does it?
you are going to take 3 points of damage, and you're going to need to make me a con roll.
All right. What is my constitution? 75. Okay. I got some fight in me. Let's see how that goes. 44. Fuck you,
Nice.
snake.
All right. So it bites you, but you somehow manage to kick it off before it can sink any venom into your leg. It does burn, but you are not poisoned, which is a very good thing for you. All right. Baz,
I love not being poisoned.
Gene
All
is
my
gonna
homies
go.
hate being poisoned.
Yes. Don't get poisoned. Don't get poisoned, please. Gene.
Gene's violent state at the moment. Not sure who the threat is, with someone flashing flash photography behind him, and just
Big terrifying snake? Big terrifying snake?
For all I know, that could be you. You could be the big terrifying snake right now. I'm leaving it up.
Yeah.
I'm leaving it up to a die roll. Caleb, you're 1.
All right, cool.
Carl, you're 2.
Dose.
Ross, you're 3, and Snake is 4.
What about the corpse? The weird animated corpse on the tree.
Well, the snake is the animated corpse to me.
Okay.
I'll put them in the same group.
Okay.
Because the animated
I think Thor should be 5 and 6 should be yourself.
Okay, yeah, there you go.
That's a nice D6.
Gene is not going to unalive himself, all right? He's going to unalive one of you guys.
Okay, nice.
Also, don't have a D5.
Roll d6 and re-roll 6s.
No, that's stupid.
All right, roll it.
Disgusting.
You guys are lucky. It's Ross.
It's a flash. That flash is drawing.
Yeah. No, it's big flashing light.
I do roll an
reflex.
An odd 5, so I definitely hit.
Yeah, I don't know if I can dodge it. I wasn't focused.
You can't dodge firearms.
Yeah.
But also, that's an impale.
Oh, cool.
An odd 5. So you're going to do full damage, a D8. So an 8 plus rolled damage. So roll a D8.
Ross.
One shot, one kill. That's what we're gonna get here.
Damn you, Margaret!
3, you're just 11. I'm sure you've got more than 11 hit points.
I have 8.
All right, so give me a con roll.
Okay. 1.
Okay. So you collapse to the ground. You're still conscious. You are dying. You will need to get first aid in order to survive, but you are somehow still conscious, and you realize Gene has just shot you center mass. Everything hurts. There's insects now biting at your exposed wound.
Cool.
Not super pleasant, but you are still conscious somehow.
But I'll be okay. I'll live on after death. We've just proven it's real. Yeah.
Except it sounds like, I'll be okay. We've just...
Yeah.
All right. So next is going to be Carl on 50.
Having avoided being poisoned by the snake due to me being the protagonist and vulnerable to all harm, I am going to instead of paying attention to the snake at all, I'm gonna go running at the hanging corpse, attempting to like sing the song that was like scratched out for us by Mead, and attempt to like punch the hanging corpse while singing.
A punch
That's
sing.
what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, punch song.
Okay.
I'm just scared of water. I want to try.
Gotta climb the
coin,
tree.
Carl?
I do not. I definitely don't. No one gave me a coin.
I grabbed the coin. Yeah.
Yep. So, all right. So, Carl, you go running at the corpse.
I'm not saying that I expect it to work in real life. I'm saying that Carl thinks he is doing
Yes.
the right thing.
So, you're running at the corpse singing the song. Are you going to attack the corpse, or are you just singing?
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Okay.
no, I'm running at it, singing triumphantly, very poorly, and gonna punch the horror.
You're gonna make a fighting brawl roll, and he's gonna make a power roll.
Yeah.
Good luck.
54, I fail.
Okay, he got an extreme. So, Carl, as you go to swing a punch, you're singing the song. The head twists even further to look at you, and you hear those discordant notes getting louder and louder as the swamp itself starts to move around you, grabbing onto your legs. You feel the cold stickiness of the water and of this dead moss as it slowly climbs up your legs and starts pulling you down into the swamp.
Yeah, it does.
So we'll see what happens on the next round for you. And finally, Baxter.
I'm going to clutch the coin and start singing the banishing song as hard as I can before the water comes for me.
Yeah, water everywhere. And all the
And not a drop to
executives
drink.
did shrink.
Yeah.
All right, so give me a power roll.
Oh, good. My best stat.
Baxter's perfect for this. Yeah.
Yeah, I am definitely the sorcerer of the group. This is
Sorcerer.
64 does not make it.
Okay. So you try to sing, but the problem is the original song in your head is so loud, you find yourself switching to that version because you can't focus enough to get the words from the banishment song into your mouth. So we'll see what happens on your next go. I'm sure it'll be fine. Shelley, you have been shot.
Yep.
You're on 0 hit points, but you are still conscious. Give me another con roll.
Okay.
Give us a real good death rattle.
89. That probably is not a success. What is my
Would you
con?
like to spend
my con. I do not have enough. My con is 40. I would need 49 points of luck. I have 32 left, so I cannot succeed.
You sink into unconsciousness.
Cool.
All right. So it is now Joe's turn. So opposed POW roll, Carl.
All right.
Because you're the one who just attacked him.
79. I fail.
Okay. I got a hard success. So you are pulled violently under the swamp. You begin to feel this thick, can't really call it water anymore, this liquid filling your mouth, your nose, your eyes, your ears. You feel little slithering things making their way into your nose and through into your ears as the song only gets louder and you start to drown. This is going so well, guys.
Yeah, it is.
So, Gene?
All right. Well,
not a target-rich environment anymore.
Not anymore.
No.
It's so few targets to choose
But
from.
Baxter's singing that song, though.
I know.
Giant snake. Don't forget giant snake. It's out there somewhere.
So one through 3.
There's only one snake, and his name is Baxter.
Yeah. Baxter's a snake that put me in this situation in the first place. 1 through 3 will be Baxter, and 4 through 6 will be Joe.
Hanging corpse. Hanging corpse is mean.
Yeah,
Shoot him.
You're
That's
the one
a D3
singing.
at least. Yeah.
It's Joe.
Fantastic. Shoot, Joe.
Only
Okay.
3 more rounds after this, Caleb. You might survive.
Yeah.
I do hit.
Okay.
For whatever it may be worth.
Okay, do your damage.
7.
All right. So you shoot the corpse straight through the chest, and this oozing swamp-like fluid comes oozing out of him.
Great.
And his whole body now turns around towards you, and he cackles. And the 2 of you who are still able to see can give me a spot hidden roll.
Well, I'm spotting hidden.
Oh my god. I'm so bad at things.
Did you fumble?
No, it's just an 87. I'm just really not good at stuff.
I rolled a 90, so.
Okay, so yeah, you don't. No, it's fine. There's probably nothing to notice here anyway, except the corpse grinning at you. So it is now Carl's go. Carl, you need to give me a con roll to avoid drowning on this round.
Fine.
If you insist.
Yeah.
Is it? Con. Hey, I make it.
Did you?
42
Okay.
under 75.
Your lungs are filling with swamp water, but you are managing to hold on to some breath somehow. But you know that if you don't break out of here, you're going to die. What do you do?
I'm gonna struggle to break out. What am I rolling?
Strength.
Strength?
I could be mean and say swim, but I won't.
Well, I mean, my brawl is higher than my strength. I could try and, literally fight. But...
You can't punch your way out of a swamp.
I disagree, but you're the GM.
There we go. That's more like it.
Have you heard
72 over 40.
Okay.
Counterpoint.
So you are going to take 4 points of damage, Carl,
Yeah, I am.
as your lungs are filling with swamp water and these insects are biting into your eardrums.
I have 1 whole hit point left. It's fine.
It's fine. We'll see if you break out on the next one.
Hey, all damage is
can't
temporary
die.
until its last hit point.
I can't die. I am the hero. It's fine.
Yep. You're going to have a triumphant rise, the way the hero looks like they've been beaten, and then they suddenly come back. All right, Baxter.
You got this, bud.
Gonna try and sing that song again.
Okay. So give me the power roll.
Oh god. Oh my god, I make it. 40 under
Yes.
55.
Okay.
Thank you.
So you see Joe's body twitch and then flinch. as you start singing this song. You will need to continue singing the song, especially because you're doing it alone. But you have successfully started, which means you can start driving the original song out of your head. It is now Shelley's turn. Shelley, you did not get first aid in this round. So I'm sorry to say. Shelley sinks into the darkness as these roots begin to wrap around her and start dragging her down into the swamp.
Nice,
Ross.
Ross.
At least you're unconscious for it, Shelley.
Yeah, no joke.
So, sorry, Ross. You're the first to go.
Ross
I
won the
promise
race.
all of your notes will not be burned. And
I mean, yeah, we'll see if anybody makes it out of the swamp. Yeah.
All right. It is now Joe's turn, and there's not that many targets, and so I'm going to roll a d4. On a 1 to 2 goes for Baxter. On a 3 to 4 goes for Gene. 2.
I'm performing.
You are performing. All right. So, let's see. What am I going to do to you?
Gotta make his attack roll, right?
He's going to do something.
Should only have 2 bullets left, so there's that. Yeah.
You got that going
I've
for
got
you.
2 bullets left.
Going for Baxter. So, all right. So he opens his mouth and he begins to scream, but the scream has some kind of melody or song to it. And the song is conflicting in a strange way with the song already in your head, but it's also harmonizing with it at the same time, and your brain is struggling to cope. So you are going to give me a hard power roll.
Who is that?
That's
Baxter.
you.
That's me? Okay, sorry.
Yes, that's you.
Hard pow. Definitely gonna make this. I got this
You'll
one.
do fine. I'm
Trust
sure
in the
you'll
dice.
Holy shit, I do! At 7
You
out of
do.
22.
Fuck
Be...
yeah.
Congratulations. Dice coming through at the end of the game. All right.
I am a record executive and a wizard.
Amazing.
Well, it's now Gene's turn, so we'll see how this goes as that third song fades from your head.
I'm just hearing a cacophony of 2 things singing, and both of them have to die right now.
All right.
2 bullets, 2 singers. Yeah.
Well, 2 singers. Sorry, Caleb.
Mrs. Roll.
88, man. Jesus Christ.
You can spend luck
Yeah.
just to play devil's advocate.
An 88 is not going to bring me down to a 45.
Okay.
So, but I will. Only 1 bullet left.
All right. After that, it'll just be fisticuffs.
Throwing the
All
gun.
right. So
Yeah,
it
throw
is
the gun.
Baxter. Your go.
Do I have to roll again? Okay.
You do.
Is this hard or regular?
This is a regular one because you're just doing the song. And
Wait,
you
what happened to
didn't,
Carl? Carl, are you okay? Are you dead?
I'm
Carl-
just taking a swim. Taking a little
Oh,
dip.
right. I skipped Carl. Sorry about that.
Oh.
Yeah,
I
good
forgot
Carl.
you were dead. I thought you were dead, but you're not.
No,
So-
I got 1 hit point. I got a whole hit point.
All right. So, Carl,
Mhm.
give me that Constitution roll.
I will do that. What is my constitution? Oh, yeah. I keep forgetting. My constitution is absurd. 50 under 75.
Okay.
We're fine. We're good.
You're still there, but you don't think you can last much longer. Are you
Nope.
trying to get your way out of here
Yep. Struggling. Gonna
as you start
get
to
out of
feel a
this.
snake slithering between your legs?
Ooh. Don't know how to feel about that. So strength to try and get free again?
Yep.
All right. 84.
And do you want to spend luck? Do you have enough luck to spend?
No.
No. Okay. So you try to push your way out, but you're so tired
Mm-hmm.
and it's so heavy.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to take, for your drowning damage on this round, 2 points.
It's fine. I'm only at -1.
All right. Give me a con roll.
54 I make.
Okay. You're still conscious. You are on 0 hit points. You are barely clinging to life, but if you are not rescued in the next round, you're going to die.
Yeah, it'll be fine. They know exactly where I am and the situation that I'm in, and therefore rescue
Yes.
is inevitable.
Okay.
No one
All right.
lets the hero die.
Yeah.
Now, Baxter.
Now, Baxter.
All right. Here comes the power roll.
You're struggling because there's so much water around you.
Okay, it's a 50, but I can spend luck on this, right?
You can spend luck on power rolls.
I am spending 5 to make it down to my 45, so I make that one as well.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm down
So
to 25 luck.
Make it through the next stanza of the song. You're getting close. You're getting close. Shelley is dead. It is now Joe's turn. And Joe has realized that you're doing something, Baxter.
Something like that.
So,
Great.
Yep. So he lets out a cackle, and rising up out of the bog in front of you is a bloated, desiccated corpse. And then another one. Their heads are all crooked at weird angles. They're wearing the bits of remaining clothing from decades and centuries gone by. And they are going to attempt to grab onto you and shut you up. So, would you like to fighting brawl them, fight back, or dodge?
Oh, God. They're both so bad. I suppose it will be fighting brawl, because that's 25% instead of 20.
So, fight back. You got this. I believe in you.
8? The fuck?
Nice. All right. So one of them tries to grab onto your throat, but you dodge out of the way and you punch it in its bloated, rotting face. So
just bobbing and weaving, just like floating like a butterfly, stinging like a bee.
Give me a D3.
Oh, God, yeah. I'm sure it's going to register this damage, being a bloated, rotting corpse. I get a 1 on it.
All right. So a little bit of that slimy flesh comes away on your hand, and you can see this gaping open cheek wound, the bones beneath and the flesh. Doesn't seem too bothered by the 1 point of damage. Okay. So next is going to be Gene.
I'm just shooting at the corpses that just peered out of the fucking water. That's
Here we go.
even
Here
more
we go.
nightmarish than everything else.
Okay.
That's the way to do it.
6.
All right. So I'm not even going to make you roll damage on that. You explode one of the corpses.
Hell yeah.
It just showers Baxter and his suit in gory, bloated, rotting bits.
You're just putrescent muck, the usual.
And you are now out of bullets, Gene.
Yes, I am.
Click, 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 click.
Carl. You have not been rescued.
Aw, what? That doesn't sound right.
What are you thinking to yourself as you sink slowly further and further into the swamp, and the mud closes over your head, and you realize no one is coming for you?
Oh no, I don't realize that. I am just holding reaching my arm up. It's surely about to be pulled up because I am destined to survive this until my thoughts die off.
So, cinematically, we just see Carl with one hand reaching up towards the light, except there's no light really, but expecting to be saved any moment as the muck fills your eyes and begins to seal them shut. And a serpent begins to wrap itself around your throat and starts squeezing the
It's going to be so much more
life
triumphant when I'm inevitably...
Yep.
I have them just where I want them.
All right. So it is your turn, Baxter.
You
got this.
Got this. You are the champion.
All right. Well, I got 25 luck points left, so if I can get it under a 60, maybe.
Here we go.
Oh my God. What is with these dice? 2. How did this happen?
Nice. Okay.
I couldn't make a roll for the entire first 2 hours of the game.
Nice. Right. Okay. So, you sing the last stanza of the song. And you start to see these wriggling, writhing dark shadows behind Joe, slithering their way, wriggling out of the swamp. they grab onto his corpse and drag him with a sickening crunch as his neck pulls away from the rope, just leaving the rope dangling there in the non-existent wind. And they drag him screaming into the swamp. I need. Are you out of your bouts yet?
I have like 2 more
no,
rounds.
I was at 10 rounds.
Okay.
I'm still terrified
So,
of
You're
water.
still terrified of water. All right. So it causes you physical pain, Baxter, as you hear the splashing of water as Joe is dragged screaming into the swamp. And the music in your head stills. The insect sounds die away to a normal rate. And the two of you are left standing there, staring at a rope swinging from a tree. So I'm going to need one final group luck roll for the two of you.
Yeah, where's your guys' collective luck at these days?
Pretty good.
Does Gene still have the lowest? I think.
I rolled 11 out of 19, so man.
Nice.
Oh my god.
Nice. You manage to get back to your car just as you see the sheriff's vehicle come rolling down in your direction, and you hightail it out of there. The thing is, as you make your way back onto the road, heading home, you don't have anything to show for your hard work. Carl
Not
is
a word.
gone. Shelley is gone. Shelley's books are gone. The notes, everything. All you have is the recording equipment.
Not a word, Scroggins. Not a fucking word.
When we get a chance to pull over, I will be dumping the recording equipment into the nearest bog. Just
There's a lot.
rolling.
There's
just
a lot of
rolling
swamp
out of the
around.
Yeah, just rolling out of the back truck into the water and then getting back in the car without a word.
So now that you know where he came from, and you've seen where he did go, what do the two of you do after your encounter with Cotton Eye Joe? Now that you know the power of music and you've seen horrible, horrible things.
I collect a really nice fucking paycheck, and I am finding a new line of work. That has nothing to do with the recording industry.
I get really into gospel recordings and, yeah, rededicate myself to the church after
Well, I hope that
having
I hope
strayed.
your hydrophobia subsides before you get baptized again.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I think maybe you feel a little bit of hesitation before entering the baptismal, but it's clean water. It's not swampy. There's no insects in here except for that little fly buzzing around your ear.
Oh
It's
no.
fine. It's fine. And for everyone except for Carl and Shelley and the two of you, the world slowly moves on, unaware of the origins of that popular folk song, Cotton Eye Joe. And that is where we will end this game.
We did it. We survived.
Yeah, oh, you say yeah, yeah.
That
Thanks
was really
there,
good.
Baz.
Now
Yeah.
I'm just imagining an old man hearing the 1980s Rednecks version of Cotton Eye
Oh
Joe.
my god.
And freezing like he's seen the devil. Like, yeah. Hey, Grandpa, you heard this song? Just like, yeah.
Mhm.
Just panicking.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Running into a desert somewhere to be as far away from water as possible. You know, going to Arizona.
Yeah.
Quite fun. Yeah.
Yeah, that was great.
Oh.
I really liked it.
That was a
Yeah.
lot of fun.
Yeah, that was a blast.
Glad y'all enjoyed it. So
Yeah. Go on, sir.
we played the slightly condensed version so we could fit it into one session.
Very well
Yeah.
done.
But that was really great. Y'all did some really creative stuff.
Yeah, no, it was a really cool setup. I really like the premise and the execution. Although I do mind my execution there, Baz.
Look,
PvP
This is
was
not the
bound to happen.
Look,
Yeah,
you can
no,
ask
fair.
the rest of these people shooting fellow players and
It's why he plays.
all age,
Yeah.
all age ranges of NPCs.
Yeah.
I'm an old hand at it. I'm an old hat.
It's true. It's true. Yeah. No, I quite enjoyed it. And so this scenario is going to be available on DrivethruRPG, I think, or
Yes, we're
okay.
doing formatting and layout now, so it'll be out fairly soon.
Cool.
On DrivethruRPG for the
So
Miskatonic
where it comes from
repository.
is you, and where
Yeah.
it goes is DrivethruRPG.
There we
Yes.
go.
That is
No,
the
no.
Cotton Eye Joe.
It's really
Yes.
cool. And how can people find out about you and the Old Ways podcast and all that?
So you can find the Old Ways podcast on pretty much every social media platform, although I think we might have left Twitter by now, or X, or whatever the hell it's called.
Why ever would
but-
you do that?
The
but
old
you-
place.
Yeah.
You can find us as the Old Ways Podcast. You can also go to theoldwayspodcast.com to find listings of all the different shows that we do, including my Vampire the Masquerade campaign, our 2 Call of Cthulhu campaigns, Masks of Nyarlathotep and Horror on the Orient Express, and all the different one-shots and so on that we do. And you can also find us on all your streaming platforms for all of your streaming needs.
Cool.
We're also on Blue Sky. If you want to find me personally, you can find me there as Rina Henze.
Great. We'll have links in the show notes. And thank you so much for running for us. This was a blast.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. I love a good old historical Cthulhu adventure, dying in the past in horrible ways.
Yeah, she's dying in the present in horrible ways. So this
Yeah,
is
it's
a
true.
lovely change of pace.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Now
Alright.
you've died 70 years ago.
it's true. Yeah, I'll add it to the list. Cool. Well, thank you all for listening, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.